I start by building Chase. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyright or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 151. Get him, you must get him. After a series of preparations, a helicopter flew over and landed on the apron, and the hatch opened, and 2 rows of soldiers wearing power combat uniforms walked out. Clang clang clang. Each Marine was equipped with a Gatling gun and sufficient ammunition behind him. Their neat and uniform movements made every move have a dull sound. As soon as they appeared, they attracted most of the attention of the spacecraft base. Although there were only 10 Marines, the momentum they brought was better than that of 100,000 lions. Jiang Minjian was shocked. This was the first time he saw the Marines, and he felt that these soldiers were the real killing weapons. What kind of troops are these? Marines in power armor. Yang Min whispered. Question mark. Jiang Minjian. Bang, bang, bang. The Marines came close to several people, lowered their masks to reveal the resolute faces inside, saluted Jiang Minjian and Yang Min, and then turned to Lin Chen to report. Report, the mobile force and the first squad of the Marines have all arrived. Please give instructions. Lin Chen nodded and said in a deep voice. Just now, the shameless Jianmeng Empire launched malicious competition against us again while broadcasting Mars Life, and this time your task is to go to Mars in the original area of the national flag, plant a large number of our national flags, and slap the other party in the face. Yes. Everyone responded in unison. Then, after a series of preparations, a large number of national flags were loaded onto the small exploration spacecraft. This time it was also led by Lao Wang, but this time it was not to carry out an exploration mission, but to go to Mars to compensate the Jianmeng Empire for a good fun. Not only that, but also to contact the system leadership to set up a global live broadcast. Such a big move, in other countries, seems to be something that is impossible to accomplish, but in the Wang's Empire, it is as simple and easy as driving on the highway, otherwise Lin Chen would not have to hit it head-on. Everything is ready, and the spaceship is ready to take off at any time. At the time, Jiang Minjian and Yang Min stood there, and they suddenly felt that they were completely redundant. However, after reacting, the 2 immediately stopped Lin Chen. There is no need to make such a big fuss. If we just go to Mars to compete with the Jianmeng Empire, I think it is not worth the loss. In the eyes of the 2, it is unnecessary to go to Mars to compete with the Jianmeng Empire to see who has planted more national flags. First of all, it takes a lot of time to travel in the vast universe to reach Mars. Even if we reach Mars, the people at the Jianmeng Empire have already left. We can't just wait on Mars for the Wang's Empire to slap us in the face. In short, going to Mars now feels a bit too childish. What do you mean? Lin Chen asked. Our spacecraft will take at least 10 days and a half months to reach Mars. There is really no need to make such a big fuss. Let the old man Pussy be proud for a few days this time. Jiang Minjian said in a deep voice. What a big fuss. It will take 10 days or half a month to reach Mars. If the spaceship I built goes to Mars now, it will be back in the evening. If you don't understand, don't talk nonsense. Lin Chen said. Jiang Minjian and Yang Min were rebuked by Lin Chen, and they were speechless. Although they didn't know the exact distance between Mars and the Blue Star, it would take a month for the Enterprise spaceship of the Jianmeng Empire to fly to Mars at a speed of 60 kilometers per second. It can be inferred that the distance must be not short. However, now Lin Chen told them that the spaceship would be back in the evening if it went there now. Are you sure he was not kidding? Fan Qi, the dean of the Academy of Aerospace Engineering, looked at his watch and ruthlessly attacked. If we go now, we can come back in the evening. Our spaceship is not fast. It mainly uses the warp engine to pull the space distance, so Mars is not far away from us. It can reach Mars in a few hours. Jiang Minjian and Yang Min were shocked, and their big mouths had turned into knot shape. Can we come back in the evening? They didn't understand technology, speed and distance, but they understood what it meant to go to Mars now and come back in the evening. This means that with the ability of this spacecraft, landing on Mars is a very easy thing. Immediately, the 2 began to breathe quickly. It took less than a day to land on Mars. This was so cool. That old man Pussy actually dared to compete maliciously. He must be dealt with. Lin Chen asked, are you still stopping me? I agree with the comparison of going to Mars and planting the national flag with the Jianmeng Empire. I think it's great. Yang Min immediately changed his mind. He stopped Lin Chen before because he thought landing on Mars was a very serious matter, but now it has completely changed. When he realized that landing on Mars is actually as simple as driving on the highway, what reason did he have to stop it? He should even encourage it. Jiangmin Jiwan was even simpler. He patted Lin Chen on the shoulder. The surprise brought by this future son-in-law was too big. After preparation, the small exploration spacecraft has entered the startup program and can take off at any time. The Wang's Empire was not idle either. It had to deal with the Jianmeng Empire in a global live broadcast, and then quickly issued a statement to the world, saying that it would go to Mars to carry out the mission today. According to the sudden changes on Mars, this empire has now officially decided to carry out the second Mars mission. In addition, after arriving on Mars, it will broadcast signals to major TV stations around the world. The specific time is uncertain. Attached below are a few photos of exploration spacecraft. Small exploration spacecraft, 100 meters long and 50 meters wide. Speed, confidential. Internal structure, confidential. In short, it is to show the appearance to the global audience. As soon as the news came out, countless people were shocked. Did the Wang's Empire really land on Mars? Sure enough, everything on Mars was what they did. Awesome. They actually quietly completed the feat in human history long before the Jianmeng Empire. And now landing on Mars again, it is just under the guise of a mission, but in fact it is going to Mars to fight back against the Jianmeng Empire. Many people feel incredible and think that the Wang's Empire is a mysterious existence and they will never be able to grasp the specific information. Of course, people also deeply wonder whether the Wang's Empire has become arrogant because of landing on Mars, or has it been angered? It took the Jianmeng Empire spacecraft a month to land on Mars. Even if the Wang's Empire spacecraft is faster, it is estimated that by the time it reaches Mars, the Enterprise spacecraft will have returned. So even if you go now, it will not be worth the loss. You can only blame that old man Pussy for being shameless. Next, when everyone noticed the photo of the small exploration spacecraft released by the Wang's Empire, they were shocked. This Wang's Empire spacecraft is so cool, just like the aircraft in science fiction movies. Originally, because of the Enterprise spacecraft, the world generally believed that spacecraft should be in the shape of a large plate like the Jianmeng Empire. Although it looks terrible, it is practical. Perhaps it is also a technical problem that cannot be changed. But since the advent of the Wang's Empire spacecraft, many people generally believe that there must be something wrong with the aesthetics of the Jianmeng Empire. The only regret is that there is no specific data, so it is difficult to compare which of the two spacecraft is stronger. This link also became a hot topic on the internet. Some people think that except for the appearance, the Enterprise spacecraft is far better than the Wang's Empire small exploration spacecraft. Some people also think that the Enterprise is a piece of junk. The two teams have different opinions. People have come up with fabricated reasons to try to convince each other. Even the bigwigs of various countries have paid attention to the upcoming contest on Mars. Both empires are awesome, it depends on how to bet. When the people of the Wang's Empire heard the news that the Empire spacecraft was about to fly to Mars, they generally had a very complicated mentality, both happy and worried. Because if they don't go to Mars to fight back against the Jianmeng Empire, they feel very unhappy and have no face, but now they go, they think it's too childish. Just because of the provocative behavior of the Jianmeng Empire live broadcast, they have to land on Mars with many difficulties. At the time, in the Jianmeng Empire, Pussy's smile was very bright. He never considered whether the Wang's Empire would issue a righteous protest. What excites him most at the moment is that the people are proud to be Jianmeng people, and there are countless people outside shouting his name. Everything is moving in a good direction, and God is on the side of the Jianmeng Empire. Alas, I, Pussy, will definitely be the greatest man in history. I'm always worried about how to make the Jianmeng Empire more prosperous. Pussy shook his head and talked to himself happily. But the result? Chapter 152. It's not sweet. Instantly. Before he could cheer himself up for long, he received a global announcement from the Wang's Empire. Hearing that the Wang's Empire admitted the fact that it had landed on Mars, they were so shameless that they wanted to go to Mars to carry out a mission. Fuck, I have always looked up to the Wang's Empire. It turns out that they are just a bunch of idiots. Pussy sneered. Others don't know how difficult it is to land on Mars, but don't they know it from the Jianmeng Empire? The Enterprise spacecraft, which was made with technology obtained from a spacecraft that was 1,000 years ahead, still needs to fly for a month to reach Mars. Even if the Wang's Empire spacecraft is fast, how fast can it be? By the time they reach Mars, their Enterprise spacecraft will already be on the way back. The news also spread to all the high-level officials of the Jianming Empire. One by one, they showed disdain. Haha, ignorant Wang's Empire. Pussy curiously looked at the photo of the Wang's Empire spacecraft. It would have been better if he didn't look at it. As soon as he looked at it, the smile on his face disappeared. The spacecraft from the Wang's Empire in the photo was so cool. Yes, Pussy was jealous again, and the Enterprise spacecraft that he was proud of before was no longer attractive. Look at their spaceships, they are so cool, and then look at the Enterprise spaceship, it is so ugly. Oh, fuck, is this the spaceship of the Wang's Empire? Why are their spaceships so beautiful, while our Enterprise spaceship is so ugly, like a big plate? Pussy looked depressed, feeling inferior to others in every way. Compared with Mecha, theirs has dual forms that can transform, all kinds of cool and awesome, while the horror killer, to be honest, it is not scary at all, just like a big spider. The dangerous wanderer is better, but it can't transform, and it can't fly in the sky like others. Now the spaceship has come to hit the head, so Pussy is almost envious. In fact, appearance doesn't mean anything. Although our Enterprise looks ugly, our spaceship will definitely beat the opponent. The Minister of the Interior said. Pussy was dissatisfied and said, where is it better? The Minister of the Interior was embarrassed. 10,000 grass mud horses ran wildly in his heart. What data is the Wang's Empire spaceship, how can I know? He had to bite the bullet and boast. Look, their spaceship is not as big as our Enterprise spaceship. The small spaceship shows that their technology is not up to standard, and their spaceship will not be fast, because they have to save fuel, and the internal space will not be large, which proves that they cannot carry too many people. Pussy smacked his lips, and couldn't help but be overjoyed by what the other party said. Yes, his Enterprise spaceship is really twice as big as the spaceship of the Wang's Empire. Bigness proves that it is awesome. The small spaceships like the Wang's Empire are just for show, and they are almost useless except for their appearance. How fast can such a small spaceship be? It may take a long time to reach Mars. Alas, what a pity, I originally wanted to live broadcast a scene of Jianwen Green beating Wang's and run all the way to tears on Mars, but now it seems that there is no hope at all. Pussy felt that he was fine again. He was even considering whether to let the Enterprise spaceship bring a rope to pull the small spaceship of the Wang's Empire to Mars. More than 3 hours later. From the video sent by the exploration spacecraft, Lao Wang and others have approached Mars. This time, Lao Wang was obviously much more relaxed, no longer as depressed as last time. Wang's Empire immediately issued another notice to the world. Our Empire spacecraft is about to enter Mars, and we will now use technology to broadcast light to the world. At this moment, the whole world was quiet. Many people wondered if they had heard it wrong, or if Wang's Empire was joking. It seems that their spacecraft has not been here for half a day, and it has reached Mars in just a few hours. Pussy sneered. Countless Jianwen people sneered. The whole world was sneering. Lun Gama was angry and embarrassed. It must be that Wang's Empire stole the technology of Jika country. Damn it, if they waited for a while, the fake Mars would be ready, but they didn't expect that Wang's Empire would use it in advance. And the people of Wang's Empire. At this moment, more than 3 billion people around the world, including the people of Jianwen Empire, all switched from the live broadcast of Jianwen Empire to the live broadcast of Wang's Empire. Pussy didn't mind it at all, and he even hoped that more people would come to watch how Wang's Empire made a fool of itself. After turning on the satellite TV, everyone fell silent, and their mouths gradually opened wider, and finally turned into a naught shape. Everyone saw the outline of Mars on the live broadcast of the Wang's Empire. The other party has used actual actions to prove where it has arrived. The Wang's Empire is not arrogant, nor is it mad, but the other party has the ability to land on Mars in a very short time and fight back against the Jianming Empire on Mars. How happy these people were with their ridicule and sneer a few hours ago, how much slap in the face they should be now. Countless Jianming people held their heads and screamed again. Oh my god. This is impossible. Why does our Enterprise need a month to land on Mars, while the Wang's Empire spacecraft only needs 3.5 hours? Fuck, my mentality seems to have reached the edge of collapse. Oh no, I don't want to continue watching. Fake, it's all fake, it's impossible to reach Mars in such a short time. And Pussy directly flipped the table in anger. Overturned. It wasn't long after I was happy, and I was ruthlessly slapped in the face again. I never thought that the speed of the Wang's Empire spacecraft would be so fast. How long has it been, and it's about to land on Mars? So angry. From the current situation, we can already know the plot. That spaceship must have carefully prepared gifts, and after landing on Mars, it will be broadcast live around the world, and the gifts will be sent to the Jianmeng Empire. The Minister of the Interior smacked his lips, feeling embarrassed that his previous nonsense was exposed again, but after thinking about it, he made another nonsense. I guess this spaceship must have been flying to Mars a long time ago, and now it's just a coincidence. The Wang's Empire is using this coincidence to make a fuss. Pussy grabbed the other party's collar and cursed. Oh, fuck, you stupid pig, this despicable excuse can't even fool me. How can you fool our people? Coincidence? Coincidence again? Yesterday's coincidence has not been forgotten. Just after he finished seriously boasting that old Wang was here was a coincidence of crossing, he found the Wangxin flag later. Today he even boasted that it was another coincidence. Are we just going to sit back and watch? The Minister of the Interior looked innocent. How can we manage it? Pussy was dissatisfied and said, are we going to continue to make up excuses and make our people go from hope to despair again? Chapter 153. Official order to beat Wang's astronaut on Mars. Since yesterday, countless Jianmeng people have been deceived like fools, and their emotions have changed from ecstasy to disappointment. If the hype continues, the people will be in pain as if someone is rubbing salt into their wounds. This is what Pussy is worried about now. What if those people can't stand it anymore and explode completely? The Minister of the Interior was also speechless. Is there really no way? It will really feel uncomfortable to watch the Wang's Empire pretending to be cool on Mars. Actually, there is a way. Pussy said in a deep voice. Question mark, question mark, question mark. The Minister of the Interior. From now on, just correct one thing to the outside world. No matter what happens on Mars, it is an indisputable fact that our Jianmeng Empire has the ability to land on Mars, so this is something to be proud of. Pussy smiled. The Minister of the Interior's eyes lit up. What a trip to cut off the firewood from the bottom of the pot. In this way, no matter how you look at it, the Jianmeng Empire has also demonstrated its strength to the world, and the adverse effects of the final rollover are only negligible. Soon he held an emergency press conference. Our Jianmeng Empire has successfully landed on Mars. This is a proud thing. It is a proud day for our Jianmeng Empire. As a Jianmeng Empire that has landed on Mars, we will continue to uphold the concept of continuous development and continue to expand into the starry sky. This landing on Mars has also accumulated a lot of valuable experience for human beings to explore outer space. They passed the buck without saying a word about pretending to be cool. They started with the direction of justice to set off the beautiful and free Jianmeng Empire. Such noble remarks immediately made countless Jianmeng people stand up confidently again. Yes, they are proud Jianmeng people, and everything they do is for the benefit of all mankind. So the image of the Jianmeng Empire, which had just overturned, took a sharp turn. Do you think it's over so easily? No. Pussy really swallowed his back breath and had to fight back. After contacting the Enterprise spacecraft, he said in a deep voice, we must fight back. Question mark, question mark, question mark. The astronauts and scientists who had just returned to the Enterprise spacecraft looked at the screen in confusion. Pussy sneered, the pride of the Jianmeng Empire, you have been officially ordered to beat up the Wangxin astronauts. There are no Wangxin astronauts on Mars. Their spacecraft is about to land on Mars. This time, the other party is coming to Mars to get back their place. And you beat them up in a global live broadcast, and beat them all the way to tears. I think our people will be happy to see how Wangxin cried all the way back to the spacecraft. Pussy chuckled. When the other party lands on Mars, then beat them up on the pretext that they're aliens. Perfect. Although the previous live broadcast was a failure, Pussy was full of confidence in the next action. There are 30 people on the Enterprise spacecraft, and the Wangxin Empire spacecraft is so small that it must not be able to carry too many people. Let's decide the winner by force on Mars. Do you still want to compete with us to see who has planted more national flags on Mars? No way. Inside the Enterprise, Astronaut A said, are you going to let Master Wang stay on Mars forever? We are all equipped with pistols. No, we want to beat him up, but not kill him. Go find the right guy. Astronaut B said, we have a bunch of wrenches. I think they might be useful. Pussy was ecstatic and said, "Go get them. The bigger the better." Then everyone in the enterprise had a wrench in their hands. Pussy sneered, "It's almost time for the wrenches." He even felt impatient. At this moment, he really wanted to let the audience around the world see the scene of the brave Jianmeng people beating Master Wang to a pulp, making him stupid, and crying on Mars. It must be very interesting. 20 minutes later, the small exploration spacecraft of the Wang's Empire has successfully landed on Mars. This scene was broadcast live to the world by a third party using technology, and the people of the Wang's Empire were ecstatic. This is a red Earth world coming into view. Wow, is this Mars? Look at the Mars I live streamed. It's different. It's cool, very cool. I heard that the driver is Lao Wang who graffitied on Mars before. I really want to see who Lao Wang is. Woohoo, thanks to this Lao Wang. He successfully made me divorce my wife. Because of his deeds, I took wine to celebrate next door. As a result, when I opened the door, I was so excited. My wife was not so excited when she was intimate with me. Haha, the name Lao Wang will be famous from now on. The people of Wang's Empire were very excited and expressed their opinions on major social platforms. Of course, there were also unhappy people, such as a divorced unlucky guy. Pussy was not annoyed at all. How happy the Wang's Empire's live stream was now, how depressed it would be later. Here, in Wang's Empire, Lin Chen received a video call request from Lao Wang. "We're on Mars now. Well, let's go to carry out the mission." Lin Chen nodded. "This time, we must let Jianmeng Empire understand the truth. They know nothing about real power." Then, Lao Wang and the Marines sorted out the relevant equipment. They didn't know that at this moment, behind a small hill, there were pairs of eyes staring at the exploration spacecraft hundreds of meters away. That's right, these people are the astronauts and scientists of the Jianmeng Empire, each holding a wrench tightly in their hands, because they are about to carry out the task of beating the other party. "Hey, guys, is that the spacecraft of the Wang's Empire? Damn, it's even cooler than our Enterprise spacecraft. Don't stop me later, I want to beat 10 of them alone. We, the Jianmeng Empire, will deal with anyone we are unhappy with on the Azure Star, and we will beat anyone we are not convinced of. Now we want to prove to the world that even on Mars, our Jianmeng Empire has the final say. Long live the Jianmeng Empire." These people stared at the exploration spacecraft closely. Once the other party's hatch opened, they would turn into ferocious hungry wolves, rushing over with an indomitable momentum to beat Wang Xinren so hard that he cried and ran back to the spacecraft. After a while, the hatch of the exploration spacecraft opened. Seeing this, everyone was ecstatic and said, "The other side opened the hatch. Quickly turn on the video equipment and send the video back. Let our people broadcast the video live to the world." After some preparation, these people began to act to prove that this was a misunderstanding. Someone said randomly, "Guys, that must be the spaceship of the evil aliens. Our righteous Jianmeng Empire must destroy them. For the honor of the Jianmeng Empire, we will definitely be written into a thick stroke in history. Charge." In the picture, 30 astronauts and scientists in white spacesuits were seen waving wrenches in their hands and rushing towards Lao Wang and others who had just walked out of the small exploration spacecraft. There were only a dozen people on the other side, and there were 30 people on their side, so no matter how they fought, they would win the next group fight. These people gradually turned into ferocious hungry wolves. They rushed forward with a fierce look, and there was already a cloud of dust behind them, as if they were going to taste something delicious. The next shot will be broadcast to the entire Azure Star. At this moment, every move of these people represents the Jianmeng Empire, so they must show enough momentum to beat the other side. Because only in this way can countless Jianmeng people feel proud and passionate. Chapter 154 They are bullying people. Everything the astronauts of the Jianmeng Empire did on Mars was broadcast live to the blue planet. Countless Jianmeng people were really excited. Aliens were just an excuse. If they didn't beat them up on Mars, they would have a hard time getting mad at themselves for pretending to be awesome. At the time on Mars, Lao Wang and others also discovered the other side, but they just couldn't figure out why those Jianmeng people were waving wrenches and rushing towards them. They had bad intentions, they must have had bad intentions. Immediately, all 10 Marines put down the Wang's national flag in their hands, and then took down the Gatling gun mounted on their backs. Click, 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 the safety was all turned on. The black muzzle was flashing with dazzling cold light in the sun. The huge firepower network only needed an order from the Empire, and they would beat all the 30 idiots of the other side into a sieve in less than a minute. Lin Chen took a deep breath and passed on the order. Kill all the opponents. Yan Ming frowned and stopped him, saying, "The old guy pussy doesn't dare to risk the world's condemnation and kill us. Don't be impulsive. He wants to beat our people to vent his anger and also intends to get back at us during the live broadcast." Yes, Yan Ming's guess was almost right. Pussy had never thought of killing Wang Xinren on Mars, and he didn't dare to do so. Although he usually yelled that he had to compete with Wang's empire, he understood that there was no deep hatred between the two sides, and it was purely a competition. However, if some things were really done, the two sides would completely tear each other apart. So beating someone up and killing someone are completely different. It would be great if she was here. Lin Chen smacked his lips. Where's she? This reminded Jiang Mingjian, and he realized that he seemed to have forgotten his eldest daughter again during this trip. Lin Chen and Yang Ming both looked at Jiang Mingjian deeply, and their meaning was very clear. Intimidate, let the other party feel fear. This was Lin Chen's last order to the Marines, and it was also that conclusion after thinking. The order was transmitted to Mars, and 10 Marines pressed the muzzle of the gun and pulled the trigger. Bang, 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 bang! The muzzle of the Gatling gun began to spray dazzling flames, and bullets drilled towards the feet of the Jianmeng people, splashing pieces of red soil. At this moment, the 30 astronauts and scientists of the Jianmeng Empire still had a grim smile on their faces, as if beating up Wang Xinren would make them extremely excited. Thinking that the wrench in their hands would ruthlessly let Wang Xinren taste the dangers of society, they felt very satisfied and relieved one by one. However, when the dense gunshots rang out, these Jianmeng people immediately woke up and recognized the reality. The smiles on everyone's faces froze instantly. The footsteps also froze suddenly, and the wrenches in their hands also fell to the ground mercilessly. Bang, 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 bang! The gunshots continued, and bullets drilled into the ground not far from the feet. These people were already scared silly. The more fierce they were before, the more stupid they were now. They immediately squatted on the spot and trembled. Fuck, Master Wang actually brought heavy weapons. An astronaut squatted on the ground, and his voice was full of tears. His side just wanted to beat them up, but now it seems that the other side landed on Mars again not to find a place, but to come to Mars to leave no one alive. The Wang's empire is bullying people. That old guy pussy is clearly asking us to die. A scientist covered his helmet and screamed wildly. At this moment, everyone on the Blue Star was stunned. I never thought that the competition on Mars would turn out like this. The Wang's empire is too rude. It actually brought heavy weapons. It was ready to shoot the other side to death without a word. Then the whole world was silent collectively, not because of the heavy weapons brought by the other side, but because it was discovered that the spacesuits worn by the Wang's astronauts. Like some kind of armor, this kind of armor seems to be able to land in any environment. Is the technology of the Wang's empire so awesome? First there was the Mecha technology, and now there is the battle armor technology. At this time, in the Jianmeng Empire, Pussy did not have the same feelings as those who were shocked by the power combat suits. He felt that he was about to explode, shocked and angry. Oh, fuck, those damn Wang Xinren actually went to Mars with Gatling. Pussy flicked the table in anger. Especially when he saw that the Jianmeng people turned into cowards in front of the global audience and dared not move, he wanted to kick their butts with his big leather shoes. These idiots really lost the face of the Jianmeng Empire. The Minister of the Interior said angrily. We can't sit and wait for death anymore. We must fight back and let the damn Wang Xinren taste the anger of the Jianmeng Empire. Order our people to shoot and kill the other party immediately. Pussy opened his mouth mercilessly. How much deterrence do you think our pistols can have on their spacesuits that look like battle armor? The Minister of Internal and External Affairs. This side of the Wang Xin Empire. Every audience member's mouth had turned into a naught shape, and they remained motionless like clay sculptures or wooden sculptures. Then they jumped up excitedly one by one. Fuck, that was really awesome, using a Gatling gun to intimidate a tough guy on Mars. The Empire has changed its style, it's really awesome. Whose order was this? I didn't expect that our top leaders finally had a powerful radical. My god, I want to join the army. It made me so excited. People's faces flushed with excitement. Today, the Empire was like taking medicine, which was surprising. Landing on Mars, new spacesuits, 50 yuan brother, looking for a place to use a Gatling gun when they disagreed. These are too awesome. Appearing at the same time, it has subverted people's three views of the audience. Especially the latter is the most exciting. The radical faction was born, which proves that the empire will no longer be the king of mouth cannons and fools. Instead, it belongs to the type that can take action and never talk nonsense. It is often like this that will make the passionate young men excited and unable to extricate themselves. The live broadcast of what happened on Mars would cause different attitudes on the Azure Star, but things there were still going on. 10 Marines remounted the Gatling guns on their backs and followed Lao Wang's steps to the area where the national flag was. Clang clang clang, every move was terrifying. The Jianmeng people who had previously clamored to beat Master Wang to tears were now so scared that they almost shrank into a ball, watching Master Wang go away in a timid manner. These people are too scary. So it's better not to provoke them. After a while, Lao Wang and others wiped the Wangxin national flag all around the original Jianmeng national flag. At a glance, it was densely packed with Wangxin national flags. At this moment, it looked like a large formation with flags in mythological novels. When nearly 100 national flags fluttered in the wind on Mars, the visual shock brought about immediately made countless Master Wang feel proud of the Empire. This time, the place was found back. Before, the Jianmeng Empire maliciously competed on Mars, and the Wangxi Empire immediately drove a small exploration spacecraft to Mars after sailing for more than 3 hours, and then began the task of slapping the Jianmeng Empire in the face at the speed of light. The mission of landing on Mars this time is very simple, which is to slap the Jianmeng Empire in the face. Now that the mission is completed, Lao Wang Green and others are ready to return to the small exploration spacecraft. And those frightened Jianmeng people were shocked again. However, they found that the astronauts of the Wangxi Empire ignored them. One by one, they got angry. Shouldn't they say hello? These uneducated Wangxi people are really hateful. A certain astronaut was bolder and immediately turned his fear into unwillingness to admit defeat. He stiffened his neck and wrote the Wangxi text on the writing board, and raised the writing board in his hand to show the other party. Writing board. We are not afraid of you, but we Jianmeng people love peace and don't want to fight with you. We also have weapons. Then he took out a pistol and posed in a show of force to show that he and others were not ordinary people. This scene was transmitted back to the Blue Star. Global audience. Oh, it's already this time, and you still have the nerve to brag. Thanks to the dead tree in the wilderness for the reward, and thanks to my friends for the recommendation votes and monthly votes. Thank you all. Chapter 155. Wouldn't it be better if we just faked the landing on Mars? On Mars, Lao Wang and others ignored these stupid Jianmeng people, landed on a small exploration spacecraft, and then left Mars directly. The whole process was very straightforward. According to statistics, it took them less than an hour from landing on Mars to leaving Mars. At this point, the live broadcast of the Wangxi Empire came to an abrupt end. At this moment, the audience on the Azure Star was shocked beyond words. The speed of this live broadcast was too fast and too targeted. Fuck, they left now. Did they land on Mars just to slap the Jianmeng Empire in the face and not do anything else? It's unbelievable. It's difficult for other countries to land on Mars, but the Wangxi Empire actually, so angry. Is this the gap between countries? People were shocked by the wealth of the Wangxi Empire and couldn't believe it. This time they landed on Mars just to plant their national flag, and other than that, they didn't do anything at all. How advanced is the technology of the Wangxi Empire to make them do such a willful thing? As for those Jianmeng people who are still on Mars and had not completed the exploration mission, they looked up at the sky one by one, looking at the direction where the spacecraft disappeared. For a long time, everyone was very angry. Because the hateful Wangxi didn't take them seriously at all. Here, the Azure Star. Since the spacecraft of the Wangxi Empire left Mars, the countries have been in a very strange state. Although Jianmeng Empire is now so embarrassed on Mars, all countries are still very envious of it. Because ordinary countries can't touch the level of Mars, it is still only in the theoretical stage. And the Polar Empire is one of these envious countries. Emperor Nicholas and his younger brother Nicotine both look gloomy. Recently, the production capacity of the base has exploded, and the Mecha Alpha has reached a certain scale. Now for the Polar Empire, it is urgent to have a monster appear, so as to achieve the purpose of Alpha beating the monster to achieve a gorgeous transformation. However, it has been more than half a year, and no monster has been seen, but it has been seen that the Wangxi Empire and Jianmeng Empire couldn't go to Mars to play. In an instant, the Alpha, the Mecha that was originally proud of, felt less attractive. It seems that our aerospace engineering can no longer stagnate. Nicholas said in a deep voice. If he doesn't catch up with others now, he may not be able to play on the same level as them in the future. Yes, our Alpha has been developed long ago, and those scientists in the aerospace field should return to their previous positions. Nicholas nodded in agreement. On this day, the world added another aerospace project after the Mecha project. Such a thing also happened in the Gaka country, which once wanted to rise. At the high-level meeting, someone came up with a plan and said, at present, Lin Chen and Jianmeng have landed on Mars, and the global situation is more tense. I propose to increase the research and development of aerospace engineering. After saying this, everyone agreed. But Lin Chen shook his head and smiled mysteriously, no need. Question mark, everyone. The Minister of the Interior has been busy faking the scene of Mars recently. Now we just need to wait for the Jianmeng Empire to come back, and we can announce the successful landing on Mars. Lin Chen smiled very proudly. As long as there is a reputation for landing on Mars, why worry about not having scientists come to Gaka to serve? When everyone heard this, they were ecstatic. This idea is really great, really great. It's useless to land on Mars, which is time-consuming and laborious. It's better to just fake the illusion of landing on Mars. No one will know it anyway. Now we have to wait. When the spaceship of Jianmeng Empire comes back, we will announce the successful landing on Mars. Lun Gamo added. It seems that the Gaka kingdom is really not far from rising this time. Everyone was overjoyed. This time, Gaka kingdom will definitely be able to do it. Looking forward to it, one by one, looking forward to the time passing quickly, and the astronauts of Jianmeng Empire will come back soon. Bang's Empire at the time. The small exploration spacecraft has successfully landed and returned to the spacecraft base. Jiangmen Jiwan and Yangming did not leave. Although they knew that the spacecraft would be very fast between Milan and Mars, it was far less visually impactful than seeing it with their own eyes. At this moment, the spaceship has just landed. The two old guys rushed out of the command room excitedly, asking about their well-being and encouraging them. Today, the Empire is proud again. Landing on Mars is of far-reaching significance. Landing on more planets means that more material elements will be obtained in the future. The more material elements there are, the faster the technological reform will be. Unfortunately, the exploration results of Kepler's planet are almost the same as the material elements of the blue planet, that is, all the materials are almost the same. It will be even more far-reaching in the future. We want to build warships to fight the monsters planet. Lin Chen smacked his lips. Everyone. After that, Jiangmen Jiwan turned his head and looked at Lin Chen meaningfully. Undoubtedly, no matter how much credit is given to landing on Mars, Lin Chen is definitely the most meritorious, and what happened today has further confirmed one thing. This young man must be won over. Although I am very unhappy in my heart, I have to deny that my second daughter and Lin Chen are a match made in heaven, both of them are so excellent. Lin Chen, you also know you. How do you feel about her? Jiangmen Jiwan asked in a deep voice. Well, it's okay. Lin Chen took Jiangshu's face into consideration. Jiangmen Jiwan nodded and patted the other party on the shoulder. It's settled, everything is settled. In the evening, Jiangshu walked into Lin Chen's room. A cup of steaming coffee appeared in front of her, and at the same time, a faint fragrance of virginity came. Your father asked me how I felt about your sister. Jiangshu's body stiffened, then relaxed, not minding at all, and smiled. Even if you don't say it, I know what your answer is. Is your uncle called Ma Jian? When did you meet him? Lin Chen was surprised. Just now, there was a call from Shuzhou, saying that their family of 3 had an accident. Why did they go to Shuzhou? Lin Chen was even more puzzled. It seems that the family of 3 went on vacation, but as soon as they got off the plane, they had an argument with a female star named Bing. What happened? As a result, your uncle was so angry that he slapped the star, and then your uncle's family of 3 was beaten by bodyguards and fans. That's what happened. The impact is quite bad. It has been on the hot search. Why are there stars in entertainment circles again? Lin Chen's face immediately sank. Then he opened Weibo. Now the Weibo hot search list is exactly the same as the topic list, and the first place is the same content. Mi Xiaobing, a famous actress from Empire, was slapped in the face by a tourist from Jinxi at the airport, causing chaos at the scene. Thanks to Fu Weiqing for the reward, and thank you for your recommendation votes and monthly tickets. Thank you all. Chapter 156 I will send the family to Mars with one slide. Clicking into the Weibo, there is a video content. A middle-aged man is arguing with a tall woman. The man is Lin Chen's uncle, who is usually not very good, and the woman is the star, the famous movie queen Mi Shuibing of Empire. As for the content of the argument, it seems that it is just because the star is arrogant and self-righteous, which angers passers-by. Anyway, in the end, Ma Jian slapped Mi Shuibing in anger, and then the family of 3 was beaten by angry fans and several bodyguards. Below are the hot comments of netizens. Wow, this is a real man. The movie queen Mi Shuibing, how can someone not recognize her? Mi Shuibing's influence is huge. The famous movie queen of Empire knows many bigwigs in the entertainment industry. It is said that this family of 3 is just a small boss in Jinshi. My idol was slapped in the face, it's really abominable. I was not there at the time, otherwise I could have sent the family of 3 to Mars with a sliding tackle. The incident of Mi Shuibing being beaten at the airport attracted widespread attention in a very short time, and many people complained. Because she is a singer, a movie queen, and a high-ranking celebrity. This alone is enough to ruin the reputation of Ma Jian's family of 3. After learning some of the content, Lin Chen called Ma Jian and said in a deep voice, "Uncle, is everything okay?" Ma Jian's voice came. "Nothing serious, the doctor said to observe in the hospital for a few days." "What's the reason?" "That celebrity was swaggering and everyone had to give way to her. Your aunt-in-law got angry, and then the bodyguard pushed your aunt-in-law while cursing. I argued with the celebrity, and the more I thought about it, the angrier I got, and I couldn't help but slap him." "Well, I know." After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen's face sank. Early the next morning, Lin Chen dressed and went out in a rage. Jiangxi appeared at the door very early. "What do you want to do?" "Kill the guy called Bing and throw him into the sea to feed turtles, or throw him to the black tribe in Heilongjiang," Jiangxi said with a smile. Lin Chen looked at her quietly. "Come on, give me your phone." Jiangxi stretched out her right hand. Lin Chen was inexplicably surprised and handed the phone to the other party. Jiangxi opened Lin Chen's Weibo. After taking a look at the private message on Weibo, her pretty face was as angry as Lin Chen. "As long as you can take me for a stroll in the sky in a mecha, I can meet any of your rude requests. Want to date, handsome guy? I am proficient in all kinds of postures." What the hell are these private messages? Jiangxi was very unhappy, and she suppressed the anger in her heart and clicked on the screen with her slender fingers. She reposted the hot search topic on the topic helper and expressed her opinion. "This is my uncle. Have the current celebrities reached the point where no one cares? Finally add the cultural department, the broadcasting department, and the internal affairs department. Okay, let's go have breakfast first, and the matter will be resolved." Jiangxi pulled Lin Chen towards the restaurant. She knew what was going to happen next, and the people behind would naturally know what to do. With this operation, the fans who followed Lin Chen on Weibo immediately received the news. Did Lin Chen, who had been silent for a while, finally start playing Weibo again? Countless people tried to open Weibo. They were shocked when they saw it. The hot topic on Weibo was about Mi Shuibing being beaten. It turned out to be related to Lin Chen. So one by one, they expressed their opinions. "I'm shocked. Well, actually Mi Shuibing is pretty good, especially the movies she made are great. It's over, I thought it was the family of 3 who were in big trouble, but now it seems that Mi Shuibing is in big trouble. I wasn't there at the time. If I was there, I would have sent Mi Shuibing to Mars with just one slide. People never thought there would be such a magical turn, and things seem to have gone too far. As we all know, the entertainment industry has changed from a clean stream to a dirty and rampant ex-entertainment industry. Scandals in the entertainment industry have emerged one after another in recent years. For example, multi-person activities, high-priced film remuneration. And Lin Chen has long had a reason to resist the entertainment industry because of a certain star named Claire who had diarrhea. You must know that at the time, Lin Chen's influence was definitely not as great as it is now. Now he is the new upstart of the empire and a legend who frequently creates the history of the empire. So the entertainment industry is going to change, and people are unhappy, so they directly add the 3 big guys. When everyone on Weibo is criticizing Ma Jian's family, Jiangxi moved her fingers and quietly set off a hurricane. The news spread to the 3 departments of internal affairs, culture, and broadcasting. The 3 departments are not like the 15 legions, which are more or less related to Lin Chen, so they are a little unsure to attack the entertainment industry. This is too much of a joke. In the end, they hurriedly sought Yang Ming's opinion. Yang Ming only took a glance at the Weibo and could tell the message contained in it, and could also tell that it was definitely not Lin Chen's idea. He said with a worried look on his face, Just do as Jiangxia said. But isn't this Lin Chen's Weibo? The Minister of the Interior was puzzled. What's the difference between Lin Chen and Jiangxia? Jiangming, that old guy, can't see it, can you also not see it? Yan Ming was very annoyed. The blue star was too busy. All these trivial matters came to him. If he had known, he would have stayed on Kepler and not come back. The three departments immediately understood and knew what they should do. And here, in a suite of a high-end hotel in Shui City, Mi Shuibing sat in front of the mirror with an annoyed look on his face. The left side of his face was swollen. Can he still attend a cocktail party held by the upper class tomorrow night? With his appearance and figure, he could easily hook up with a big boss at the cocktail party or have a perfect one-night encounter with several big bosses. But now it's all gone. It's all that hateful family of three. I'm a big star who is high above everyone else. They must be blind. Not only did they not make way for me, but they even beat me. The more I think about it, the angrier I get, and the more I think about it, the more I lose. This matter is not over yet. Mi Shuibing just wanted to post a Weibo to show his pity. The secret skills of celebrities control brain-dead fans and control public opinion storms. Posted on Weibo. My face is swollen, I don't want to go out today, I want to say sorry to all the fans. Here a burst of sneers. Those lowly civilians know nothing about the power of big stars. Because the entertainment industry has an unshakable position in the Wangxin Empire. At present, if I just pretend, I can easily gain sympathy from all walks of life. However, just after posting on Weibo, there was a knock on the door outside, interrupting the movie queen's thoughts. Knock knock, Mi Shuibing said. Who is it? Hello, we're here to check the water meter, please open the door. Thank you for the reward from Zhu Jianxia, thank you for your votes. Thank you. Chapter 157. The strong man is excited again. Hearing the sound outside the door, Mi Shuibing was furious. She was staying in a hotel, and now even the water meter inspector dared to come to her house to bully her. Expose them, you must expose them. Otherwise, do you really think that celebrities can be bullied by anyone? She opened the door angrily, her steps suddenly stopped, and her face changed from anger to shock. A group of calm police stood outside the door. An officer smiled and said, Hello, Ms. Mi, please come with us. I won't go anywhere. Mi Shuibing screamed wildly, like a madman. Then several people gave Mi Shuibing a pair of bracelets. Why did you arrest me? I'm a well-known actress and a star in the entertainment industry. I want to sue you for abusing your power. Mi Shuibing was still making trouble. The police officer smacked his lips and smiled. In the incident at the airport yesterday, your bodyguards and fans were suspected of intentionally endangering the safety of others, and you're the cause of everything. Are you going to arrest me because of this? Yes. I'm a well-known actress in the entertainment industry. I have influence in all walks of life. If you want to arrest someone, you should arrest that family of three. My mouth is still swollen. Mi Shuibing was very angry. It was obvious that she was the biggest victim. You provoked someone you shouldn't have provoked. Isn't that just a small business in Jinji? How can you not offend it? Is the entertainment behind me easy to offend? I advise you to let me go, otherwise you will be in trouble in the future. Well, you stars are awesome, but the problem is that he has a nephew who is even more awesome. I don't believe it. I don't believe that someone dares to attack the entertainment industry. Aren't they afraid of public opinion from the outside world? The police officer was too lazy to talk nonsense and turned around and said, Shall you open your Weibo and show it to this big star? Soon the Weibo was opened and sent to Mi Shuibing. The latter took a look and his face was immediately pale with fear. How did I offend that evil star? Mi Shuibing muttered to himself. In the past, because of Klamuma's incident, everyone had a sword hanging over their heads, and they must not offend that young man. However, he actually won the prize, instigated fans and bodyguards to beat up his uncle's family, and then set off a public opinion storm to slander him. Now, with just one sentence, almost the entire entertainment industry was called in for a talk today. The police officer said in a deep voice, From now on, you have the right to remain silent, but everything you say will be used as evidence in court. Mi Shuibing was so scared that she started to cry. Yining, don't be fooled by these big stars who are usually decent and always give people an unattainable image. It's not that the entertainment industry is so awesome, but in fact, the empire is in a state of laissez-faire with the entertainment industry. As long as they don't make a big deal, they can do whatever they want. But now they are having fun and making a big deal, and things will be different in the future. On this day, almost all the bosses of entertainment companies lived as cautiously as dogs. The content of the talk was very simple, all of which were orders to make corrections, because the higher-ups attached great importance to the dirty atmosphere prevalent in the entertainment industry. Damn it, that Mecha has messed up the entire entertainment industry this time. That stinky bitch has done a lot of harm to people. Fortunately, I wore a small umbrella when I was having a blast, otherwise I would have been unlucky too. Many bigwigs in the entire entertainment industry were complaining on this day. At the same time, everyone also understood a truth more clearly, that the entertainment industry will usher in winter in the future. Just look at Lin Chen's attitude towards the entertainment industry. If he is slightly dissatisfied, he will definitely mess up the entertainment industry. It seems that celebrities will have to keep their tails between their legs in the future. On this day, the internet was very calm, so calm that all the news about celebrities eating and shitting disappeared within a day, of course, including the hot search on Weibo about Mecha being beaten. The speed was so fast that countless netizens did not react to what happened. Who can tell me what happened? Why are all the news about celebrities gone? Woo, I'm now very concerned about the follow-up of Ma Han cutting his finger during filming. It is said that the entertainment industry has offended the people above, and the people above are very angry. The internet was rarely calm. Countless netizens were shocked after inquiring. It turned out that the incident of Mecha being beaten up on Weibo is related to Lin Chen. And this time the entertainment industry suddenly began to keep a low profile, and all of them were interviewed by the higher-ups. Lin Chen is awesome. That's great, I don't have to be hypnotized by movies anymore. Except for some brainless fans, countless people applauded. It would be more beneficial than harmful if the entertainment industry were to make changes. Otherwise, take a look at what kind of shit the entertainment industry is doing. Filming a TV series where the wife cheated, the husband raised the child for more than 10 years, and forgave the husband after learning the truth. Filming a movie, all the characters are just reciting lines. There was also a director who offered a star a sky-high salary, but had no money to film a TV series, and finally filmed Breaking the Sky as a battle key turned into a horse. Lin Chen was not aware of all this. After receiving the investigation results from the internal department, he took a look and found that the procuratorate had actually found out that Mecha evaded taxes, and all the brainless fans at the airport that they had been arrested and sent to the detention center. He said to Jiangxia on the side, "Shit, thank you this time." When the Internal Affairs Department sent the results of the investigation, he knew it was over. Can a star be lawless? You're welcome, Jiangxia said with a smile. Lin Chen nodded and was about to continue walking out. Hey, are you still not going to finish? My parents are coming to shuzhou you, Lin Chen said. Jiangxia's body suddenly stiffened, and she felt inexplicably timid. Question mark, Lin Chen. I still have something to do. Jiangxia ran away in a flash. She was not afraid of Lin Chen's parents. It's just that the other party was too enthusiastic, and when they were enthusiastic, people were at a loss. 2 days later, Lin Chen came back from shuzhou. And Ma Jian's family was not in any trouble. After learning that Mecha and others had all been sent to the detention center, the three of them showed a long-lost smile. This matter is completely over. Of course, there are things that are not over yet. For example, on Mars, a Jianwen astronaut turned on the communicator. Hey, our mission is about to end, guys, don't be lazy. After a busy day, all the tasks, including exploration, collection, etc., are coming to an end. We have been on Mars for 5 days, and we can finally complete the mission tomorrow. These Jianwen people jumped excitedly in the Enterprise spacecraft, and then excitedly sent this good news to the Blue Star. In the Jianwen Empire, all the senior officials and scientists were also excited. The resources brought back from Mars are of great research value, and any new material elements will enable that technology field to develop to a deeper level. You'll come back quickly tomorrow after completing the mission. Pussy shouted excitedly. Yes. With Pussy's encouragement, the people on Mars were full of confidence. Then, the confident Pussy immediately issued a statement to the entire Jianwen Empire on the Blue Star to share this exciting good news with everyone. Tomorrow, our free and beautiful Jianwen Empire will usher in a new dawn. Starting tomorrow, the Enterprise will leave Mars and return to the Blue Star with major discoveries and resources. At the time, the entire process of the Enterprise leaving Mars will be broadcast to the entire Empire simultaneously. As soon as this news came out, countless people who had come out of the shadows of pretending to be awesome were excited. Wow, our Jianmeng Empire has the resources on Mars, and its position as the world's hegemon will be even more difficult to shake in the future. The beautiful Jianmeng Empire is a blessing for all mankind. The heroes of our Jianmeng Empire are coming back. They should be written into the history books and their great deeds will be admired by future generations. On this day, the atmosphere of the Jianmeng Empire rose sharply, and countless people once again raised their proud chests. Even if the Wangxi Empire returns from Mars early, what would it matter? Chapter 158 Why the Enterprise Can't Fly. As we all know, the Jianmeng Empire has the largest number of scientific teams in the world, and countless outstanding representatives in the field of science are in the Jianmeng Empire, so it will definitely surpass the Wangxi Empire in the study of Mars. What Wangxi Empire is, it's just garbage. Because what they are facing is the free and beautiful Jianmeng Empire. On this day, the Jianmeng Empire can be said to be celebrating, and countless people took to the streets to share this joy. Pussy has a completely opposite mentality from the people. After making a statement, he regretted it instantly and whispered, "I hope our Enterprise spacecraft can return safely." Mecha hesitated and said in a deep voice, "I don't think there should be too many problems." With this, Pussy's heart became even more uncertain. After all, the Enterprise spacecraft was originally for show, so it was rushed to space, and many inspections were done in a hurry during the period. Now what he is most afraid of is tomorrow's car overturning, because every live broadcast makes the Jianmeng people proud, and finally ruthlessly overturns. Don't overturn again this time. Here, the Gakka Kingdom also received news from the Jianmeng Empire. The Enterprise spacecraft will leave Mars tomorrow. This is really good news. Lin Chen was overjoyed and smiled to many high-level officials. Everyone, the countdown for the rise of our Gakka country has begun. Once the spacecraft of the Jianmeng Empire returns, Gakka will announce that it can also land on Mars, and then they will definitely shock the world. Yes, we will definitely rise. This time I have been on the scene in person to supervise the people below to fake the illusion of landing on Mars. The Minister of the Interior did not forget to brag about his own merits. Okay, everyone, go and prepare. Within the next month, our Gakka country must be fully prepared to shock the whole world. This is an unprecedented shock, and it is also a turnaround for our Gakka country. Lin Chen said in a deep voice. That's right. Last year, after our Chandrayaan-2 successfully hit the moon, the outside world has been looking at us with tinted glasses, but they don't know how powerful we are. If you want to rise, you must have the spirit of never giving up. Long live Gakka country. Everyone's face gradually became fanatical. The next day, many Jianmeng astronauts and scientists on Mars ran out to perform their missions in spacesuits. After a sweaty time, they finally completed all the tasks for this time. A group of people immediately ran back to the Enterprise and cheered. "Oh, God, I finally left this damn planet. I swear that as long as I return to the Jianmeng Empire, I will have a blast in the nightclub and let the girls there feel my loneliness for more than 2 months. I just don't know if the white lady next door gave birth to my child. Ha 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 ha. When I return to the Azure planet, I will travel around the world and try all the delicacies from all over the world." The group of people got tired of cheering, so they contacted the Azure planet. At the time, all major TV stations in the Jianmeng Empire had been waiting for news from Mars. The live broadcast began. A sexy host said with a smile, "Wow, look at our Jianmeng heroes. They have accomplished a great feat for mankind on Mars and are now greeting us. Judging from their appearance, they are in good spirits. Look, this time they are about to return to the blue planet and have accumulated valuable outer space experience for our Jianmeng Empire. Now they are telling the world with practical actions that the Jianmeng Empire will always be a beacon of freedom and democracy." The host's enthusiastic voice made every Jianmeng person's blood boil. Today, they watched the TV just to wait for the exciting moment. Many people couldn't help cheering. Yes, we are the beacon of freedom and democracy. Long live the Jianmeng Empire. At this time, the Enterprise spacecraft had contacted the secret base of the Jianmeng Empire. The base issued an order. Take off. After receiving the takeoff order, an astronaut waved to the camera and said, "Dear audience friends, the Enterprise spacecraft is about to take off now, please don't worry." Then, the 6 pilots of the Enterprise spacecraft sat in their respective driving positions. Enterprise spacecraft, prepared to take off. Well, take off. A series of fancy operations. The Enterprise started up, and rows of indicator lights began to light up. Perfect. The 6 pilots were so happy that they thought that the audience in front of the TV might have been shocked by this miraculous operation. In fact, they were indeed shocked. Many Jianmeng looked at their heroes with dull faces and grinned foolishly on the Enterprise. The operation method is not complicated, but why do they have to operate it with difficult movements? Oh, fuck, these idiots only know these things that have no practicality. Pussy was very unhappy when he saw this scene. Someone actually pretended to be cruel. Curse them to stay on Mars forever. At the time, on Mars, the Enterprise had just completed the ignition stage. However, 5 minutes later, the Enterprise did not move at all, and the surface was still the surface of Mars. Sweat gradually appeared on the faces of the 6 confident pilots. Why not take off? It has obviously been ignited. Some people began to be dissatisfied. Hey, take off quickly, now our Empire's audience is in front of the TV, and they are looking forward to us leaving Mars. Okay, take off now. This time, the 6 pilots carefully turned off the engine and restarted it. All operations were the correct way to operate the spacecraft at the teaching level. Another 5 minutes passed. A strong wind blew outside Mars, and the Enterprise spacecraft remained motionless. At this moment, the smiles on the faces of everyone on the Enterprise spacecraft froze. A weird and anxious atmosphere was spreading. Why can't the Enterprise spacecraft fly? Is it a malfunction? The Jianmeng people in front of the TV also tightened their hearts. Oh no. Countless Jianmeng people held their heads with both hands. They had just recovered their hearts for a short time before they were ruthlessly collapsed again. Isn't the Enterprise spacecraft the pride of the Jianmeng Empire? Why can't it take off? And Pussy immediately turned the table in anger and shouted, "Quick, find an excuse to calm the people's concerns, and contact the Enterprise spacecraft again as quickly as possible." Shocked and angry. The landing on Mars was so perfect, why did the spacecraft break down just when it was about to leave Mars? Therefore, the top leaders of the Jianmeng Empire were in a mess, and the official hurriedly stated, "Please don't worry, the Enterprise spacecraft is only a minor malfunction, and it's not a big deal." After a forced explanation, the people at the Jianmeng Empire were skeptical. I hope that old man Pussy is reliable this time. Otherwise, if he deceives everyone like a fool again, this time I have to break into his mansion, tie up this old man and send him to the police station to see if he is a spy sent by the Wangxin Empire. Here, Pussy has contacted the Enterprise spacecraft again in a secret base. At this moment, everyone present has a solemn face. Fortunately, at least they can still keep in touch. Pussy asked the pilot of the Enterprise spacecraft across the screen, "Why can't it take off?" "We don't know why either. All procedures are in accordance with the normal operation." The pilots have already shown a little panic. If the Enterprise spacecraft cannot take off, then they will all die on Mars and never go back. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 159. The Martian Rescue Plan. Shipseed Beans. As one of the persons in charge of the Enterprise, Mitson knew the impact of the current situation. He looked at the screen beside Pussy and asked, "Try again." Then, the screen showed 6 pilots operating the spacecraft very carefully. The ignition was still successful, but it did not take off, and the Enterprise spacecraft remained motionless. The pilot also tried a joystick in the emergency plan, and it was almost bent. Mitson and the person in charge of the base quickly analyzed the conclusion. There should be a problem with the power transmission. Pussy was furious, covering his head with both hands, and roared, "Oh, fuck, someone throw these 2 idiots out for me, they are the sinners of the Jianmeng Empire." No one moved. Everyone was waiting for Pussy and the Minister of the Interior. At the beginning, they were anxious to show off and show their strength in front of the world. If it weren't for their constant urging, how could the internal inspection of the Enterprise spacecraft be completed in a hurry? Now, the Enterprise spacecraft has a malfunction, and this old guy has started to show responsibility again. At this time, the people in the Enterprise were completely panicked after hearing Mitson's conclusion. "Hurry up and save us. The white lady next door is about to give birth to my child, and I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet. Help, help, I don't want to die yet." Pussy. Everyone. This group of idiots didn't say they wouldn't save them. After calming down, everyone in Pussy tried their best to ensure that they would build another spaceship to pick them up in the shortest time. The people in the Enterprise were relieved. Then, everyone held a serious meeting with a heavy heart. Almost all the high-level officials of the Jianmeng Empire came to the meeting. The sudden malfunction of the Enterprise on Mars was unexpected, and they had to save all the precious talents on Mars. At the moment, the best way is to ask for help from the Wangxian Empire. It saves time, is fast, and is efficient. Everyone looked at Pussy. Pussy was very dissatisfied. Fuck, whoever wants to go can go. Anyway, I won't go to Wangxian Empire, that would be too embarrassing. No, if we do that, how will the outside world view our Jianmeng Empire? The Minister of Foreign Affairs was also very dissatisfied. Everyone nodded in unison, thinking it made sense. Everyone, tell me, what should we do? Pussy asked. Everyone was talking about it. The most urgent thing is to build a spaceship to launch it to Mars. How long will it take? The fastest time is 4 months. That means it will take 5 months to reach Mars, which is too long. Our people may have died on Mars. Now their living supplies should be able to support more than 2 months. What should we do? Should our next spaceship go to Mars to collect corpses? After a round of discussion, no useful plan was proposed, and everyone looked at Pussy again. Now either go to Wangxian Empire for help, or watch the 30 precious talents on Mars die. Pussy said, why not let the astronauts be self-sufficient on Mars and grow some food? Everyone. It was immediately embarrassed. If plants can be grown on Mars, why do we need to wear spacesuits? The air on Mars is extremely thin, and it is impossible to grow any plants. Mechas said in a deep voice. Oh, fuck, it is grown inside the Enterprise. What about the soil? We still don't know whether the soil on Mars is suitable for planting. Pussy was furious. It seemed that no matter what he did, these idiots would go against him, right? He opened his mouth and roared. Then use fusses to grow. Everyone's eyes lit up, as if a skylight had been opened. Great. What a good idea to use fusses to grow. Using fusses and Martian soil together, there is absolutely no problem in growing potatoes that are easy to survive. Perfect fusses seed beans. Refer to the movie The Martian, the protagonist is fusses seed beans. Please don't criticize the Great Majesty. Pussy is really amazing. He actually solved the problem of survival on Mars in just a few words. Just for this idea, I think the Great Majesty Pussy should go to the Agricultural University to give those idiots a good lesson. There should be potatoes on the Enterprise spacecraft. Everyone praised Pussy without hesitation. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Pussy looked puzzled. After everyone's popular science, Pussy instantly became proud. It seemed that there was no solution to the problems on Mars, but in the end, they were solved by just opening their mouths. After finding the solution, everyone quickly contacted the Enterprise spacecraft again. From the video call, it can be seen that the people on the Enterprise spacecraft are on the verge of collapse. If these people's emotions are not properly handled, they may do something unexpected. We don't want to die, come and save us. The astronauts and scientists shouted. The living supplies on the Enterprise spacecraft will be eaten up sooner or later. Pussy was in high spirits with the solution, and said with a smile, "You are heroes of the Jianmeng Empire, we will not give up on you." Now there is a good news and a bad news. Which one do you want to hear? Let me tell you the bad news first. Pussy smiled and said, "You may have to stay on Mars for 5 months, because our next spacecraft will arrive on Mars in 5 months. After hearing this, everyone on the Enterprise spacecraft collapsed immediately. They held their heads in their hands and shouted, "Oh no." Not to mention the distant future, the basic conditions for their survival are not enough to sustain for 5 months. An astronaut looked devastated and asked, "What's the good news?" Pussy said, "We have found a way for you to survive for 5 months. First, you have to make fire and water. Then, based on the characteristics of potatoes that are easy to survive, mix the soil of Mars with fusses, and finally plant potatoes inside the Enterprise. In this way, you can survive until the next spacecraft arrives on Mars." What? Planting beans from fusses in the Enterprise? Oh, fuck, whose idea is this? I must let the person have a taste of the power of wrench when I return to the Azure Star. A group of people were screaming at the screen crazily. Let them plant beans from fusses. This idea is so stupid, the person who came up with it should die. Pussy was also angry and roared, "Fuck, now you only have 2 choices. The first is to plant beans from fusses according to our Mars rescue and try every means to survive. The second way is either to wait for death or commit suicide. Everyone on the Enterprise collapsed again. Want to eat potatoes grown from feces? Oh my god. Ugh. After the communication was cut off, the Jianmeng Empire once again began to use the beautification method that it is always good at. After all, the whole world is still eagerly watching the Enterprise spacecraft return to the Azure planet, so the Enterprise spacecraft has no malfunctions, never, and the reason why it has not returned is because a temporary mission has been added. Yes, that's right. Otherwise, if the Enterprise spacecraft malfunction is really confirmed, the outside world doesn't know how it will view the beautiful beacon of freedom. So the Jianmeng Empire issued a high-sounding announcement. The Enterprise spacecraft did not have any malfunctions, but a major experiment was temporarily added. The content of the experiment is to use the soil of Mars to cultivate plants, so the date of returning to the Azure planet will be postponed for a while. Perfect blame. Countless Jianmeng people believed it to be true, and they all looked forward to the successful completion of this major experiment. There was no voice of doubt. Because this is the beautiful Jianmeng Empire. Chapter 160 I have a condition, you know. The news of Jianmeng Empire began to spread. Their Enterprise spacecraft was not out of order, but a temporary experiment was added. This news swept the world like a hurricane. So it was because a major project was temporarily added to cultivate plants using Martian soil. According to reliable sources, the failure of the Enterprise spacecraft was purely a joke by the astronauts. Is it true? The first reaction of many countries was to not believe it. After all, it didn't seem like a joke from the footage at the time. But if you think about it again, you will feel that it is not right. If the Enterprise spacecraft of Jianmeng Empire really had a malfunction, they should be anxious to ask Wang's Empire to bring their people back. So this news is probably true. The Enterprise spacecraft did not have a malfunction, but a temporary experiment was added. So many countries envied it. It was a luxury for them to land on the moon, but Wang's Empire and Jianmeng Empire both landed on Mars, especially the latter had already carried out experiments one by one. So jealous. When the news of the Enterprise spacecraft reached Wang's Empire, everyone was speechless. Others don't know about the Enterprise spacecraft, but don't Lin Chen and others know about it. I don't know where they got the technology from, but they rushed to Mars to show their strength. This can be seen from the overwhelming publicity of Pussy. Now that the spacecraft is broken, they use the excuse of the experimental project to beautify their image. I think we should go to Mars and deal with them again. Lao Wang was so excited. No need. Jiangshi glanced at him. Now I'm more curious about what they eat. Lin Chen smacked his lips. This place is different from the outside world. The outside world has begun to generally believe that the Enterprise spacecraft is conducting soil cultivation experiments on Mars, but here it can almost be concluded that the Enterprise spacecraft must have a malfunction. This is certain. With the usual nature of the Jianmeng Empire, they will never miss the opportunity to publicize their strength when the Enterprise spacecraft returns to the Blue Star. So their Enterprise spacecraft must have a malfunction. From the publicity of the experimental soil cultivation of plants, it should be that the materials are not enough to support the second spacecraft to Mars, so, are they planning to grow food on Mars? But the soil on Mars is not enough to support the cultivation of any plants. Then use feces. Lin Chen said. Everyone was embarrassed in an instant. Time passed day by day. The fact that the Enterprise was trapped on Mars did not attract much attention from the Wang's Empire. Lin Chen and others had almost forgotten that there were still 30 unlucky people on Mars. Even the vast majority of people in the world had almost forgotten about it. After all, the current world no longer allowed them to devote too much energy to these things. But Lungama was different. At present, in addition to the Jianmeng Empire, the Garka Kingdom was also looking forward to the Enterprise returning to the Blue Star. If the Enterprise did not come back, they would announce that they had also landed on Mars. What if they were exposed at the time? However, this wait lasted for another 2 months, and there was no news of a return. All the high-level officials of the Garka Kingdom were angry. The last time the Inner Kingdom could not bear to see the rise of the Garka Kingdom, they drove all the terrorist killers back. Now it was the damn pussy who could not bear to see the rise of the Garka Kingdom and deliberately prevented them from showing off their strength. This is absolutely intolerable. Even if the old thing pussy is the world's hegemon, what can he do? Fight him. He slammed his hands on the table and roared angrily. Damn old pussy. If it weren't for him, we would have announced to the world that we could land on Mars. The Minister of the Interior shared the same hatred and said in a deep voice. Is their Enterprise spacecraft really broken down? Lungamo frowned and said, "Contact that old guy Pussy for me, I'll test his bottom line and urge him." After a while, Lungamo and Pussy opened a video call. "Hello, old friend, do you want to buy Mecha again?" Pussy's face was full of energy, because the living supplies of the Enterprise spacecraft were completely used up. And those precious talents did not die. Except for their depressed mental state, all their vital signs were normal. All this was thanks to the ship seed beams he proposed for the Mars rescue. Lungamo forced a smile. "Mr. Pussy, I am very concerned about your Enterprise spacecraft. When will it be back?" 3 months later. After hearing this, Lungamo was immediately unhappy. It actually took another 3 months. Wouldn't he have to wait another 3 months before he could show off? He immediately mocked. "Oh guy, it's not that the spaceship of our global hegemon broke down when it arrived on Mars. I heard that the spaceship of the Wang's Empire will land on Mars again soon, and I didn't see them doing any soil cultivation." "Oh, fuck, you old thing." Pussy's face suddenly darkened. But this also indirectly gave him a message. He hung up the phone in a hurry and immediately convened an important meeting. At the meeting, Pussy conveyed Lun Gamo's words today to the many high-level officials of the Jianmeng Empire present. The Wang's Empire will send an expedition team to Mars again in the near future to be responsible for the comprehensive exploration of Mars. Many people couldn't sit still. Someone said excitedly, "I suggest that the Wang's Empire spacecraft should take our people back." The Minister of the Interior objected in time. "But if we go to the Wang's Empire for help, it would be too embarrassing. Maybe they will take the opportunity to blackmail us again." Someone agreed. "That's right, whoever wants to go can go, I won't go anyway, I can't afford to lose face." The Minister of Foreign Affairs said, "But our people on Mars dig potatoes from shit every day, I'm afraid they will go insane." Everyone discussed for a long time but couldn't come up with a suitable countermeasure. Pussy was very dissatisfied. "Look at these idiots. After talking for so long, there is not even a useful plan." If it weren't for him, the Jianmeng Empire might have become what it is now. He said, "Tell the Wang's Empire that our Enterprise spacecraft has run out of supplies, but the experimental project is at a critical moment. If we return early, all the experiments will be wasted, so let them take some supplies over." When everyone heard this, their eyes lit up immediately. "This is a great idea. Entrust the other party to take the supplies to Mars. This way, it would not be considered as asking the other party for help. Not only that, it would also give the Jianmeng Empire a noble image of being brave enough to sacrifice for science." In the end, this proposal was quickly implemented, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs rushed to the Wang's Empire in the shortest time and entrusted the other party to take some supplies to Mars. The next day, in the Wang's Empire, Lin Chen was notified early to go to the capital. He heard that the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Jianmeng Empire had come. "Do you know what's going on?" Lin Chen sat on the bed and put on his clothes, looking at the Inspector Sunyue. "I don't know the specific details of the matter on Mars," Sunyue said. "Are they begging us to bring their people back?" He came to the capital with deep confusion. In the reception room, after the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Jianmeng Empire introduced him, Lin Chen understood the other party's intention. Lin Chen smiled and said, "So I want to bring something to you." The face of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Jianmeng Empire suddenly froze. "This guy looks very handsome, but he is actually very dark. When we rushed to help the Jianmeng Empire, it was because of that idiot bit that Lin Chen asked for an extra ton of gold per nautical mile. I can bring supplies, but I have a condition, you know. Thank you for the reward from Fantasy, and thank you for your recommendation votes and monthly tickets from all friends. Thank you." Chapter 161A. Letter of thanks from the Jianmeng Empire. The other party was clearly planning to extort money again, but he put on a serious smile. This made the foreign minister of Jianmeng Empire look depressed, as if something had stabbed him in the heart. He slowed down and laughed dryly. "Mr. Lin, please speak up. If you need a reward, please tell us. Our Jianmeng Empire's experiment on Mars cannot be interrupted. We don't care about your little reward." Lin Chen's face was full of contempt. The foreign minister of Jianmeng Empire almost wanted to vomit blood in depression. "Yes, you don't care about the reward. Because of the monster disaster, your Wang's Empire tore off the hypocritical face and made a lot of money all over the world, pulling back thousands of tons of heavy metals such as gold and silver. Of course, you don't care about it now. Where does your Enterprise spacecraft technology come from? It was just a delivery. Lin Chen didn't take it to heart at all, and didn't think about how to cheat the other party. However, the question he was most concerned about was where the technology of Jianmeng Empire came from. Without interference, he absolutely didn't believe that Jianmeng Empire would be able to land on Mars in such a short time. There must be something fishy going on here. I'm sorry, this involves technical issues, please forgive me for not being able to answer. The foreign minister looked embarrassed. If it was about asking for some supplies, he could agree, but when it came to the outer spaceship, he would not tell anyone, because the news was so confidential that only a very few people knew about it, and they had all been ordered to keep their mouths shut. In that case, then you should issue a statement to the world to thank us. Seeing that the other party was unwilling to mention it, Lin Chen had to speak indirectly. The foreign minister of the Jianmeng Empire looked embarrassed. If he issued a statement to the world to thank the other party, what was the difference between this and begging them? Lin Chen said. Although the space law signed between the three empires at the beginning included the obligation of any party to rescue space victims, your Enterprise spacecraft seems to have not encountered any danger yet, right? No, absolutely not. Our Enterprise spacecraft has no faults, and now it's just that the experimental project cannot return to the Azure Star. The foreign minister of the Jianmeng Empire strongly denied the fact that the Enterprise spacecraft had a fault. Yes, since you haven't encountered any danger, and you don't agree to my request, why should I help you? The foreign minister of the Jianmeng Empire. After some consultations, the Jianmeng Empire vehemently denied that the Enterprise had no faults, and was extremely reluctant to issue a statement thanking the Wangzhe Empire to the world. But what could they do? Should they not agree to the other party? The Wangzhe Empire was not afraid that the Jianmeng Empire would not agree. After all, the life and death of the Enterprise had nothing to do with them. The other party could wait, but the people on the Enterprise could not. Eating boring ship beans for a long time would drive those excellent talents crazy, and it would also affect the image of freedom and democracy in the future. Promise them that when our Jianmeng Empire has more spaceships in the future, we will no longer have to ask for help. Pussy's annoyed and angry voice came from the phone. In the end, he had no choice but to accept the other party's opinion. Half an hour later, a drafted thank you letter was mailed from the Wangzhe Empire to the Jianmeng Empire. When Pussy saw the contents of the thank you letter, he immediately flipped the table in a rage and roared. Oh, fuck, the damn Wangzhe Empire is using us to improve their international image. The contents of the thank you letter. Thank you for the assistance of the Wangzhe Empire. When our Enterprise spacecraft was having difficulty in conducting experiments, it was the help of the Wangzhe Empire that's helped us overcome the difficulties. Thank you. They are the noblest empire in the world and the most lovely nation. The Minister of the Interior looked contemptuous. Chue, they are just shameless. Obviously, our Jianmeng Empire is the noblest. Pussy grabbed his hair with both hands and shouted. We must never compromise. We must reveal the hateful faces of those yellow-skinned monkeys to the whole world. These high-level officials of the Jianmeng Empire shouted more fiercely than one another. Then an hour later, the Jianmeng Empire issued a statement to the world, issuing a thank you letter. It was obviously issued in a very short time, but everyone was gritting their teeth and was very angry. It felt like time was extremely long. When the news came out, the whole world was stunned. Fuck, what does Jianmeng Empire mean by this? The Jianmeng Empire, which has always been domineering, actually bowed its head and announced to the world that it is grateful to Wangzhe Empire. It's unbelievable. If many people had not seen the content of Jianmeng Empire's statement with their own eyes, they would definitely think it was fake. Because it is well known that Jianmeng Empire is domineering and arrogant, and has always disliked Wangzhe Empire. But now it has lowered its proud head. Unbelievable. Is this experiment really so important that it cannot be interrupted? Why do people feel that the Enterprise spacecraft has a malfunction? At this moment, countless people from the top to the bottom, from the old to the young, in the Jianmeng Empire collapsed immediately after hearing the content of the thank you letter. No matter where they were, they covered their heads with their hands and shouted wildly. Oh, God, you must be kidding me, right? Aren't we the global hegemon? Don't we mess with whoever we are unhappy with and beat whoever we are dissatisfied with? Why do we have to thank others? Fuck, why doesn't our Enterprise spacecraft come back? We actually need the help of Wangzhe Empire. The beacon of freedom and democracy is gone. Are they still proud Jianmeng people? It was actually necessary to announce to the whole world that they were thanking the Wangzhe Empire. Many people found it difficult to accept this fact. They thought that the reason why Pussy did this must be because of the Enterprise spacecraft, not because the experimental project was in progress and he could not get away. Pussy also realized the seriousness of the problem. He immediately used the beautification method that he was always good at, and said that the cultivation of Martian soil had reached the most critical moment, so he could not return to the blue planet. Jianwen Green was instantly enraged. This old man Pussy once again treated everyone as fools and deceived them. Because anyone with a discerning eye could see that the Enterprise spacecraft must have malfunctioned, so the Wang's Empire was asked to bring some living supplies. But this was unfounded, so people had to be angry. However, a week later, when the small exploration spacecraft of the Wang's Empire entered Mars again, it handed over the living supplies to the Enterprise spacecraft, and then returned from the exploration operation. Lin Chen and others were speechless when they watched a video secretly shot on Mars. In the content of the video, the Jianwen Green in the Enterprise spacecraft were already on the verge of a mental breakdown, and everyone was extremely sloppy. This does not fit the Jianwen Empire's excuse for conducting project experiments, and it further proves the fact that the Enterprise spacecraft malfunctioned and could not return. Well, there is a high probability that they are using physis to grow plants. Lin Chen was a little unbelievable. I think so too. At least it can be guaranteed that they will still be alive when the next Jianwen Empire spacecraft arrives on Mars. Not long after, this video shot from Mars began to secretly flow into the Jianwen Empire. As time went on, this video quickly set off a hurricane and quickly spread in all directions in the Jianwen Empire. The Jianwen people exploded immediately, carrying flags, demonstrating, and rushing towards the capital of the Jianwen kingdom frantically. Chapter 162 The lighthouse lights up again. On this day, the capital of Jianmeng was overcrowded, and protests broke out again. Every street was covered with flags or holding up signs. Countless Jianmeng people, who were overwhelmed by anger, roared at Pussy's mansion. Pussy, get out! This world-famous city only hit such a monotonous voice at this time, but the sound waves were one after another, as if to tear the sky apart. People were completely angry. They were always treated as fools and deceived by Pussy. Obviously, the Enterprise spacecraft had a malfunction, but in the end it was announced to the outside world that the Enterprise spacecraft was normal, and the reason why it did not come back was because of the ongoing experimental project. If it weren't for the video from the Wang's Empire, they might still be in the dark. That hateful old guy has almost no ability except sitting in the office and tweeting all day. Pussy, get out! Under such a major decision-making mistake, all the senior officials of the Jianmeng Empire looked solemn. If we say that the people are always deceived by the means of beautification, then everyone present here today is involved, and even the high-level officials of the entire Jianmeng Empire cannot escape. If Pussy is the mastermind, then everyone else is an accomplice. Pussy was angry and shouted, "Oh, fuck, these damn Wang's are actually filming secretly. What do they call this? Mars Gate?" The Minister of the Interior whispered. Pussy shouted again and again, "Yes, that's right, it's Mars Gate. I didn't expect them to be so hateful that they actually show this to our people, so that everyone in the Jianmeng Empire can see the truth. This is your request. In order to prevent the other party from maliciously withholding the living materials we send to Mars, we asked them to take a video as evidence." Oh, fuck. Pussy looked depressed, as if he had made this request himself. Before, the Jianmeng Empire had been messing with the Wang's Empire in various ways. After all, his starting point was also good. He was afraid that the other party would bear a grudge for the anger he had suffered all along and withhold a large amount of biological materials sent to Mars. What should we do? Someone asked. Pussy thought of a solution in a hurry. Beautify our efforts, and by the way, announce the news that the secret base is urgently manufacturing a second spaceship to restore the public's confidence. Everyone was not good at it, and they thought Pussy's plan was very desirable. With a general direction, after getting some relevant information from the secret base and organizing some words, the top leaders of the Jianmeng Empire quickly issued another statement to the outside world. There was only one purpose: to restore the public's confidence in the Jianmeng Empire. After hasty preparations, a press conference with thousands of spectators was completed in an instant. Pussy's vivid speech announced a series of ongoing remedial measures and fully explained the good intentions of the top leaders of the Jianmeng Empire. After an hour of awkward praise, it finally aroused the sympathy of countless Jianmeng people. At this time, the Minister of the Interior timely supplemented what Pussy had omitted and began to speak eloquently. All of our senior officials are deeply sorry for deceiving everyone about the Enterprise's malfunction. Everything we did was to avoid the Jianmeng people's worries. It's a pity that this white lie had already deceived everyone, but was exposed by the Wangxian Empire. In addition, as early as the first day of the Enterprise's malfunction, we had already prepared several emergency plans, including planting potatoes on Mars, and the second spacecraft was being urgently manufactured. We will not give up any Jianmeng people. The speech ended. Pussy and other senior officials looked at the dense crowds of Jianmeng people outside and were no longer angry. Most of them were excited and their faces were flushed. They knew that this was destined to be a speech that would be recorded in history. Perfect. Some people may say that they always deceive the people like fools, but it is undeniable that Pussy and others started from the perspective of the Jianmeng Empire. Whether it was fighting monsters or landing on Mars, everything they did was for the Jianmeng Empire. Of course, the final result is more irritating. Now, they have spoken out the difficulties of the top leaders, so they have not only gained the understanding of the people, but also gained the support of the people. A slap came from all directions. The Jianmeng people once again raised their proud chests. This time, it was Pussy who established their pride as Jianmeng people. So one by one, they began to scream fanatically, "Long live the Jianmeng Empire!" Wow, it turns out that Pussy, an old dinx, is willing to bear the eternal infamy for the Jianmeng Empire. We are proud of Pussy in the Jianmeng Empire. That's right, if it weren't for Pussy, maybe we Jianmeng people would have started to tell the truth now. The voice lasted for a long time. Excited. Many people were clenching their fists excitedly, as if the beacon of freedom and democracy was lit again, illuminating the direction of the Jianmeng Empire. This time, the Jianmeng protest that shocked the world came quickly and disappeared quickly. After Pussy and others used the usual beautification method, they once again made countless Jianmeng people ignore the fate of being deceived, and they were proud of being Jianmeng people. After this calm, there was no sensational news in the days to come. After a long time, the whole world completely returned to its previous life, as if it had a nightmare. Whether it was monsters or landing on Mars, it felt like a lifetime ago. The whole world returned to the fast-paced life that was once familiar, but it didn't last long. Not long after, the second spacecraft of the Jianmeng Empire also returned from Mars. Awesome. People are shocked by the strength and technological level of the Jianmeng Empire. On this day, the leaders of countries all over the world were preparing to congratulate and send a congratulatory message to the Jianmeng Empire. However, there was an exception. That's right, this person was the Emperor of the Garka Kingdom, Lun Gummo, who was once more anxious than Pussy. Before, whether it was the war fortress or the pain of the Kingdom pretending to be cruel, he did not become decadent. Instead, he had a spirit of fighting again and again after repeated defeats, and never admitting defeat until the Garka Kingdom rises. Our chance to rise has finally come. Lun Gummo's face flushed with excitement, because he knew that this time the rise of the Garka country would shock the whole world. The Minister of the Interior smiled and said, "That's right, in a week we will announce to the world that our Garka country has successfully landed on Mars. The Fate Mars site must be protected well, and there must be no mistakes. Don't worry, I sent out the pride of our Garka country a long time ago, and planned a military restricted area near the Mars site. No one is allowed to approach." "You mean our motorcycle mobile unit is back?" Pussy was stunned and happy when he heard it. The pride of the Garka country is finally back. It's not easy. Back then, it was these pride of the Garka country who aimed to fight monsters with an indomitable momentum. Although the record was not very good, the whole world saw the spirit of the Garka warriors, who were not afraid of life and death. Now the empty frame of the motorcycle mobile unit has been filled, and Lun Gummo's confidence has been filled instantly. In the future, the motorcycle mobile unit will be matched with the horror killer unit to fight monsters. Isn't this invincible? Yes, it is our proud motorcycle mobile unit, and every soldier has special skills. Very good. Lun Gummo nodded, and couldn't help but start to let himself go. The sky is clear, and the country of Garka is fine again. Chapter 163. Only strong self-confidence can hold the whole scene. Afterwards, Lun Gummo also sent Pussy his most sincere blessing, wishing them to successfully bring back all the victims on Mars. Pussy was in a state of extreme excitement at the time. Now the Jianmeng people on Mars have also been brought back. In the future, the transformed dangerous wanderers will successfully counterattack a wave of monsters. At the time, the Wangxian Empire and the Polar Empire will not be a problem. However, after hearing Lungamo's blessing, he immediately put away his smile and frowned. That old guy Lungamo is weird. The Enterprise spacecraft has nothing to do with him, but he is more anxious than me. Does he have any conspiracy? The Minister of Foreign Affairs also looked puzzled. It was really because Lungamo had been jumping around too much during this period. He would come to ask when the Enterprise spacecraft would come back every few days, and his anxiety had even exceeded that of everyone in the Jianmeng Empire. I don't know. Pussy shook his head and couldn't figure out what the old guy Lungamo meant, but he felt that Lungamo must have some tricks that he hadn't used. But in general, Pussy's recent approval rating is very high. Because of his series of remedial measures, he finally succeeded in bringing back the 30 Jianmeng people on Mars, which immediately made the atmosphere of the Jianmeng Empire unprecedented. Every Jianmeng person is proud because they have a strong backing behind them. When the Jianmeng Empire was in doubt, in the evening, the official website of the Garka Kingdom released earth-shaking news to the world. Next Monday, the spacecraft of the Garka Kingdom will land on Mars. At the time, friends from all walks of life can watch the live broadcast on this official website. As soon as the news came out, the whole world took a breath of cold air. Yes, for a long time, the shock gradually subsided, and the big mouths of people from all walks of life around the world had turned into a knot shape, almost dislocated. What is world shock? This is the real world shock. In the past, the Wang's Empire landed on Mars, and the second spacecraft of the Jianmeng Empire successfully went to Mars to bring all the people back, all of which were weak. Compared with the Garka Kingdom, they all have to stand aside. Billions of people around the world were shocked by the sudden big move of the Garka Kingdom, and they all logged on to major social networking sites to check the truth of the matter. The world's internet was already in chaos. Oh my god, even the Garka Kingdom is going to land on Mars. The Jianmeng Empire just came back from Mars, and the Garka Kingdom suddenly announced that it would land on Mars. How could this feel like a coincidence? Even the Garka Kingdom can land on Mars. I'm impressed. Didn't their Chandrayaan-2 just hit the moon not long ago? It's not long before they can land on Mars. That's awesome. At this point, the news had spread to everyone. Pussy's coffee sprayed on the documents on the table, and he said in disbelief, "Oh, fuck." Suddenly, he seemed to understand. It turned out that the old man Lungamo was more anxious than the Jianmeng Empire because of this. Lin Chen was writing something, and suddenly the pen in his hand paused. Like Nicholas, he smashed the computer directly. Even a little joke like the Garka Kingdom can land on Mars. He can only land on the moon, but the Garka Kingdom announced that it can land on Mars. Is it because the old man Lungamo drank too much cow urine and started to feel itchy again? This side. Reporters from all over the world shouted "Yalla" and rushed to the Kingdom of Garka. According to statistics, all countries that have established diplomatic relations with the Kingdom of Garka have sent reporters. Countless reporters asked questions to the top leaders of the Kingdom of Garka. Excuse me, is it really possible to land on Mars? Has your country's aerospace technology really reached the level of landing on Mars? Countless reporters had a skeptical attitude that was difficult to conceal. On the one hand, the current Azure Star has been completely shrouded in the doom halo of the Wangxian Empire. No matter who pretends to be cruel, they will be slapped in the face by reality in the end. On the other hand, with the strength of the Kingdom of Garka, they also want to land on Mars. Before, their war fortress, motorcycle mobile force, and the guerrilla warfare of tank monsters, which one was not ruthlessly overturned? Faced with the doubts of many reporters, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Garka was somewhat unable to calm down. At the same time, this scene was also shown to the Kingdom of Garka through the TV. One by one, the Garka people were shocked. It was too contemptuous. Those damn reporters must be jealous of the rise of the Kingdom of Garka, so they tried their best to smear it. And at this time, the Emperor of the Kingdom of Garka, Lungamo, appeared. He was full of confidence. This time he showed his strength and was well prepared. He was sure to win. He would not fail. First of all, I welcome the arrival of journalists from all over the world. I would like to state once again that our country at Garka has developed a new spaceship. Here are the specific data of the spaceship. You may wish to take a look. Below, the lights in the conference hall dimmed, and the projector projected a spaceship that looked a bit like a passenger plane on the wall. Spaceship. Bull God spaceship. Size. Confidential. Weight. Confidential. Material. Made of super hard chrome. Boasting. Power. Extreme fusion proton engine. Boasting. Power transmission. Polymer material technology, boasting, looks awesome. Lungamo came on stage with mysterious confidence and boasted a lot. In an instant, he held the whole audience and the whole world. His strong confidence infected all the Garca people through the live broadcast on TV. After seeing Lungamo's confident ecology, many Garca people could not help but feel a sense of pride as Garca people. Garca country has finally risen. In the future, Garca country will be the center of the world. At this time, the scene had fallen into an eerie silence, and even the exclamations of the global audience were rising and falling. Everyone had been stunned by Lungamo's words. Extreme fusion proton engine. Polymerization material technology. How could they not understand it at all? But it doesn't matter. According to the law of not understanding, the more you don't understand, the more awesome it is beyond imagination. As Lungamo finished speaking seriously, the neighbors around the Garca Kingdom and the Wangxi Empire were overjoyed, especially the 2,000 island countries of Nixie and Mechas, who have always rejected the Wangxi Empire. They have always believed that the Wangxi Empire is a cultural invasion. Reference 98, after the rise of the Garca Kingdom, they will no longer be afraid of the military deterrence of the Wangxi Empire. The Garca Kingdom is really awesome. It actually developed such an advanced spacecraft. However, the reporter of the Ind Kingdom trembled in his heart, thinking of the destruction of Chainki City, and summed up a sentence. Don't believe the nonsense of this old thing Lungamo. This old thing always boasts, and in the end he is beaten by the cruel reality. This time, the Garca country is still bragging. Suddenly, a bad feeling enveloped my heart, and I immediately joined the two sneering camps of Wangxi and Jianming, and no longer envied that Garca country. Lun Gummo. I was almost angry and vomited blood. It's okay to say that reporters Wangxi and Jianming are cold, after all, they represent the landing on Mars. But your country is nothing. Look at how well-mannered the reporters from Nixie and Maxi are, and all kinds of flattery never stop. Sure enough, your country can't stand the rise of Garca country. A week later, countries around the world are sending congratulatory messages to Garca country, but there is no congratulatory message from your country. Lun Gummo's attitude began to hate your country deeply. When the time just arrived at the time notified before, he immediately showed the live broadcast of the landing of the Garca country's Bull God spacecraft on Mars to the whole world in a rage. No worries. Even if it's fake, what can it do? As long as no one knows it's fake, it's real. Chapter 164 The Loser finally strikes back. This time, more than 4 billion viewers around the world are waiting for the good news from the Garca Kingdom. The audience has different thoughts. Some are watching the show, while others are expecting the Garca Kingdom to soar. Those who hope that the Garca Kingdom can soar are small countries that feel the military deterrence of the Wangxi Empire, such as the Nixie Kingdom and the Mecha Kingdom. Under the eyes of the world, the official website of the Garca Kingdom is live as scheduled. Dear audience friends, we have already contacted the Bull God spacecraft. Let's switch to the video of the Bull God. During the live broadcast, the enthusiastic voice of a female host of Garca immediately made countless Garca people excited. During this period, it was either the Jianming Empire or the Wangxi Empire that was pretending to be cool. These Garca people usually couldn't tell the reason on their faces, but they were almost jealous in their hearts. Now the Garca Kingdom has finally demonstrated its strength again. And it landed directly on Mars. Just ask the countries of the world if they are convinced. The view suddenly changed, the Bull God spacecraft appeared, and then a group of Garca astronauts in spacesuits came down one after another. They lined up neatly in a row facing the prepared cameras, and were being reviewed by the people of the whole world on Mars. It was a show. They looked very good. Then they raised their signs one by one. Friends of the Blue Planet, we have landed on Mars. This scene was also broadcast live to the world. The Garca people clenched their fists excitedly and shed tears of joy. The Garca country has risen. It has really risen. After a while, the show was over, and the Garca astronauts began to shoot a series of Mars. After months of preparation, the venue was surrounded by partitions with distant scenes, and the ground was completely covered with red and yellow sand. There was no other color at all. The Mars faked on the scene was almost indistinguishable from the real thing. And this scene of the red and yellow world was broadcast live to the eyes of the national audience. Suddenly everyone was collectively shocked. Fuck, did the Garca Kingdom really land on Mars? Awesome, awesome, I didn't expect that the Garca Kingdom is finally a loser who has finally made a comeback. I didn't expect that the Garca Kingdom has really risen. The audience of the Garca Kingdom was even more excited and shouted long live. Even the scenes of Mars, even the Wang's Empire and the Jianmeng Empire were deceived. Pussy looked unbelievable. Oh, fuck, did Lunamo, the old guy who likes to drink cow urine, really make a comeback? Lin Chen stared at the video, and he was lost in thought and felt unbelievable. Jiangxia sat beside him and asked, "What's wrong?" "I can't figure it out, just tell me that this is not Mars, but the scene is the scene of Mars. If you can't figure it out, don't think about it." At this time, Lungam held another live press conference, and many reporters came to witness this great moment together. He watched the live broadcast of the bully comments from all over the world on the official website, and after the translation, he began to let himself go. This feeling is great. No one will be able to stop the pace of the Gaga Kingdom to show its strength in the future. At this time, reporter Nixie asked, "Why don't you choose to land on Mount Olympus?" "Because the astronauts are inexperienced, we will go to Mount Olympus in the future." "Mr. Lungamo, since your country has landed on Mars, will it also launch an exploration mission?" "Of course." Lungamo looked confident. This was expected a long time ago, just pretending. And reporter Wang Xin asked, "May I ask if your country's Bull God spacecraft really landed on Mars?" The whole audience suddenly fell into a strange silence. Many reporters looked at reporter Wang Xin with unfriendly faces. This shitty country seemed to be contagious. No matter who pretended to be cruel, they would eventually be slapped in the face under the aura of their bad luck. Just like the Jianmeng Empire. People went to Mars to pretend, but they still couldn't get rid of the fact that they were ruthlessly slapped in the face. Lungamo's smile froze. He pondered for a while, thinking back to his past experiences. So should he continue to pretend this time? Forget it, let's stabilize it first. If the live broadcast is interrupted directly now, people will definitely be suspicious. Lungamo smiled and said seriously, "Of course, the Nyoshin spacecraft is a symbol of the rise of our Jiraka country, so it can naturally land on Mars. Although we don't know the performance of your country's exploration spacecraft, according to experts' predictions, it should be similar to the performance of our Nyoshin spacecraft." Jianmeng reporter asked, "Mr. Lungamo, how long does it take for the Nyoshin spacecraft to land on Mars?" Lungamo still smiled, but he was actually annoyed. "One after another, they are endless, right? I have said before that the performance of the Nyoshin spacecraft is similar to that of the Wang's Empire's exploration spacecraft, so the time it takes for us to land with the Wang's Empire will not exceed 1 day." After bragging, he felt much better. The astronauts in the live broadcast are enjoying the show. Planting the national flag, encapsulating the red and yellow sand on Mars, and transporting it to the Nyoshin spacecraft, all done in a very realistic way, in short, all according to the routine of the Jianmeng Empire. Audiences all over the world believed it. It looks like it, too much like it. All the voices of doubt disappeared. Lungamo was confident on the surface at the press conference, but he was extremely nervous inside. This time, the demonstration of strength is about to succeed, but we must not fail again. I think our astronauts should rest. In order to avoid mistakes, he immediately contacted the astronauts through super technology and ordered them to enter the Bull God spacecraft to rest. After a while, the Gaga astronauts had a great time in the Shenya spacecraft. Under the gaze of the global audience, they boasted and showed off, drank high-quality cow urine, sent various blessings, etc. Then, bottles of cow urine were thrown out one by one. Of course, this is not the point. The point is that after a long while, the astronauts inside seemed to have thought of something and hurriedly closed the window. And they did not have any discomfort, such as suffocation or difficulty breathing. Why did the Bull God spacecraft open the window, and these Gaga astronauts can still survive until now, and they're still alive and kicking? Awesome. The world is paying attention, and the audience suddenly soared to 5 billion. Lungamo was nervous inside, and he must not be exposed. However, the slap in the face came like a tornado, and half an hour later, the pretense of the Gaga Kingdom failed again. If the previous sighting at the Bull God spaceship with its windows open was a collective illusion of the 5 billion viewers, then the next scene completely made the global audience recognize the reality, and recognize that the Gaga Kingdom had followed the footsteps of the Jianmeng Empire and finally ruthlessly overturned. Suddenly, this result disappointed countless viewers around the world, but for some reason, they all felt that it was justified. Chapter 165. Don't believe, please subscribe. In the sight, the camera fell to the ground. The reason why it fell to the ground is that Mars often has strong winds, so in order to achieve almost synchronization with Mars, Lungamo arranged rows of huge electric fans behind the camera. The whoosh sound of the wind is almost the same as the environment on Mars. However, a staff member pretended to be so proud that he got carried away and accidentally knocked down the camera in front of him. The camera fell to the ground, and the lens began to show the environment behind that had not been specially processed. The huge electric fan came into view, and in the distance was a green mountain landscape. Although they restored the previous Mars video in a very short time, it still made countless viewers around the world completely recognize the reality. It turns out that the landing of that Gaga country on Mars was to fake the illusion of Mars in a certain area. Global audience. Stunned. Stunned. The Gaga country once again refreshed the world's perception of them with practical actions. Then one by one, they all burst into laughter. Wow, such a strong wind, it blew the camera down. I admire the spirit of the Gaga kingdom that overtakes others and never admits defeat. Just ask the world if it is afraid. Ha, I knew there must be something strange. Their Chandrayaan-2 successfully hit the moon and will land on Mars soon. I don't believe that there will be no mods. It has risen, it has really risen. The Gaga kingdom is not strong, but it is definitely the first in pretending to be awesome, even more awesome than the Jianmeng Empire. The global audience felt that their IQ had been severely trampled. They thought that the Gaga kingdom had really risen, so they came to see it out of curiosity. However, the bloody lesson was presented again. They will never believe in the Gaga kingdom again. They believe that their IQ will be trampled on once. However, it is undeniable that the preparations before pretending to be awesome was sufficient and they had completely concealed everyone. It was just a pity that they did not fail in the details, but in their mentality of pretending to be awesome, which led to frequent mistakes and made people recognize the reality. Yes, this is very Gaga country. They have surpassed everyone in how to do some fancy things. At this moment, Gaga country fell into a strange silence. The fanatical cheers before resounded in every street, but now everyone was motionless like a clay sculpture or wooden sculpture. The original expectations of countless Gaga people turned into endless anger at this moment. Why is it exposed? We didn't land on Mars at all. It's fake, all fake. Do we still have a chance to rise? I'm embarrassed to say that I am a Gaga person after failing to show my strength again and again. The endless anger of the Gaga people was directed at the capital of Gaga country. I was disappointed with the high-level officials there again. This time, the landing on Mars failed. Next time, who knows what kind of excuses will be found to fool Gaga country and the whole world again. This is the scene of the press conference. Lun Gamo's face was gloomy. So angry. Why did the pretense backfire? He wanted to find an excuse to throw dirty water on the Wang's empire, but after thinking for a long time, he couldn't think of any reason to throw dirty water. Could it be that their reporters' questioning led to the exposure of the fake scene of the Gaga country? That was too ridiculous. After thinking about it, he began to shift the blame in various ways, learning from the Jianmeng Empire to play the sympathy card, saying how well-intentioned the top leaders of the Gaga country were, and everything they did was helpless. But it was useless. The people of Gaga country were still pessimistic, desperate, and inferior. How excited they were before, how disappointed the Gaga people were now. Countless Gaga people roared in anger again. Fortunately, the monsters appeared in time to rescue and resolve this crisis. The Gaga country first discovered the traces of the monsters' activities, because the channel connecting the other world had been silent for a long time, and the energy gathered had exceeded the past. Not only that, one monster after another appeared on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. They evolved again, and they were no longer in the same direction every time like before, or it could be said that the evil aliens made the monsters change the traditional tactics of destroying cities. This time, each monster had no solid target, and the monsters rushing out of the channel went in all directions. This is an unprecedented monster crisis. After the command office first detected the monster, it immediately sent a secretary to report the situation. Lin Chen looked at the secretary of the command office, who suddenly broke in with a look of surprise and disbelief, and said loudly, "What? The No. 6 offshore sonar monitoring station found traces of the monster." "Yes." The secretary looked solemn. Suddenly, the atmosphere at the press conference became particularly solemn. The monster had not appeared for a long time. This time it would definitely be a terrifying crisis. Many high-level officials and reporters of the Gaga country all looked desperate. Lin Chen said, "Go and issue a notice to let the people evacuate in advance." As the news of the monster's appearance continued to spread, soon, the extremely angry Gaga people regained their composure, and anxiously waited for the news of the monster's tragic death. At this time, Lungamo once again received news from the command office confirming the monster. Just a large monster. All the high-level officials of the Gaka country were no longer heavy, and they all looked relaxed, and no longer considered requesting foreign aid. Because they had already killed a monster in the Enu kingdom, and recently they bought the manufacturing drawings of the Terror Killer from the Jianmeng Empire. With the current strength of the Gaka kingdom's mecha, Lungamo can say without exaggeration that it is the #1 mecha power in Asia. Are they still afraid of a mere monster now? Lungamo is full of confidence. This time I will make it come and never return. Perfect. The timing of the monster's appearance was perfect, successfully diverting the anger of the people in the country. So the monster must be here to give away points. In the evening, the news of the monster's reappearance has swept the world. The Gaka kingdom is like the most eye-catching focus of the world, attracting waves of attention. Fuck, the kingdom of Gaka has really become the center of the world. Could it be fake again? I think it's possible that the old guy Lungamo forged the monster so that he can show off. I don't believe it, it's definitely fake. This is the confirmation from the prediction master. Damn it, the world has finally been peaceful for a few months, but Lungamo couldn't hold back his restless heart anymore and made 2 big moves in succession. When people from all walks of life around the world heard the news, their first reaction was disbelief. After all, it was too coincidental. As soon as the fact of the fake landing on Mars was revealed, they immediately announced the discovery of the monster, so no matter how you look at it, it seems to be fake again. Everything is too coincidental. When this news reached the Polar Empire, the brothers Nicholas and Nicotine were immediately furious. What, the monster went to the kingdom of Gaka again? Nicholas was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. Damn it. How much does this monster despise its own Polar Empire? It would rather attack the little scoundrels like the kingdom of Gaka than come to the Polar Empire. Damn it. Now our Polar Empire is just waiting to perfectly destroy the monster to demonstrate our strength and improve our international image, but the monster just doesn't attack us. Nicotine was also furious. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 166. The whole world is in an uproar. The 2 brothers of the Polar Empire were filled with hatred. They were annoyed about why the monsters did not attack them. You should know that the strength of the Polar Empire is no longer what it used to be. The huge number of its alphas can crush the monsters to death even if they are crushed. However, the monsters looked down on them and never attacked the Polar Empire. It was so depressing. After a while, the command office was solemn as if a great enemy was come in, and hurriedly sent the news. It turned out that the offshore sonar monitoring station, which was like a chicken rib, finally hit something wrong. This was a sign that the monsters were attacking the Polar Empire. Immediately, the 2 brothers of Nicola were overjoyed, and even their breathing began to quicken. The monsters finally came, and this time it was finally the turn of the Polar Empire to perform. Cool, it's finally our turn to show off. The glory of our Polar Empire will guide us to kill the monsters. The 2 brothers immediately laughed and were proud. The monsters must die when they come. And everyone in the command office looked at the 2 brothers who were overly excited in silence without saying much. Why are you not happy at all? The smile on Nicola's face gradually disappeared. According to the monitoring results, a total of 37 large monsters and 46 monsters appeared. Plop. The 2 Nicola brothers were shocked. What glory of the Polar Empire, they were directly scared away. So many appeared at one time. A senior official asked, should we ask for military assistance from the Wangxi Empire? Nicola frowned. Go to the Wangxi Empire. If this gets out, how will outsiders see the Polar Empire? No, absolutely not, it would be too embarrassing. He thought deeply for a long time and weighed the pros and cons. At present, the Polar Empire urgently needs a beautiful annihilation war to fight monsters, so as to achieve the effect of demonstrating its strength. So, can't ask for help. Besides, with the current strength of the Polar Empire, it seems that there is a possibility of winning. Nicola said in a deep voice. Everyone, the next battle belongs to the glory of our Polar Empire, so we can't ask anyone. Everyone was ashamed and angry. The Polar Empire was once a world-famous fighting nation, but now when danger comes, they don't think about how to fight, but how to ask for help. One by one, they regained their morale, and after urgent discussions, they also came up with a safe plan to resist monsters. First, calculate the possibility of monsters landing in the city, prepare for evacuation, dispatch all alphas, draw all the air forces that can be assembled to support, and then send 3 heavy weapons corps to assist with artillery fire. Success or failure depends on this one move. The fate of the Polar Empire is also all on the upcoming battle. At the end of the meeting, Nicholas said in a deep voice, "We will win this time." Everyone was also infected by Nicholas's brave attitude. They stood straight and said enthusiastically, "We're a fighting nation, we are proud polar bears." At the same time, on the side of Jianmeng Empire, Pussy looked at the news of Gaga country, and he smacked his lips with some envy. He was not envious of that old man Lungamo's pretense and failure, but he was envious of the appearance of a monster. He thought that the reappearance of the monster would be a disaster for mankind, but he didn't expect that there was only one. It would be great if this monster appeared in Jianmeng Empire. The pretense was completely successful, and the strength of Jianmeng Empire as the global hegemon was fully demonstrated. Maybe the monster is afraid of the strength of Jianmeng Empire, so it dare not come. Pussy's tone was a little sour, and he forced himself to find excuses to comfort himself psychologically. Thinking about it, he felt much more comfortable. But before long, he suddenly saw the news that the Polar Empire had also discovered a monster. Pussy's face immediately sank, and he cursed. "Oh, fuck, are you kidding me? Our Jianmeng Empire's dangerous wanderer has been successfully transformed, and now the monster is not come in. Damn." Angry, gnashing teeth, everyone underestimated the disaster brought by the monster. Monsters appeared one after another on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. They no longer waited for their companions as before. Whenever they appeared, they would go to all parts of the world as soon as possible. So, that night, countries around the world seemed to have made advance greetings. More than 50 countries began to announce the discovery of monsters one after another. Like the British Empire, which was composed of the French Empire and the British Empire, their strength was not weak. They also discovered monsters, but there were only 2 monsters, so they did not think of needing help from others. They directly dispatched troops and sharpened their knives to prepare for a big event. There are also some stubborn countries. They are self-righteous. Will they be afraid of a mere monster? Of course, the majority are some countries with weak strength. When the Marine Sonar Monitoring Station discovered the monster, the whole country was in a precarious state for a while, and the people were panicked. The military strength was not good to begin with. Now that the monster is about to come, what can they use to resist it? So they began to look for military assistance everywhere. For example, Saudi Arabia, a world-renowned wealthy country, is said to have detected 50 monsters at one time. Also like the neighbor of the Wangxi Empire, the Nixia Kingdom, and so on. Here, Pussy received the news one after another. He was completely depressed and grabbed his hair with both hands, shouting almost collapsed. "Oh, fuck. The damn monster must be causing trouble. This time, it actually started to attack the whole world, but there was no monster ready to attack the Jianmeng Empire. Now that I finally have the strength, I feel uncomfortable all over my body if I have no place to show off. Is there something wrong with our offshore sonar monitoring station?" After a lot of fun to vent his excess energy, Pussy felt it necessary to send a fleet to drive around the imperial waters with the sonar on to see if there are any fish that slip through the net. I think this gives us an opportunity to not only demonstrate our strength, but also to gain benefits. The Minister of the Interior expressed his opinion. Pussy's eyes suddenly lit up. Wonderful, wonderful. The time is almost ripe. Let's get people ready tomorrow. When countries around the world are in despair, our new type of dangerous wandering will be unveiled to the world. We must take this opportunity to become famous and make a fortune, so that the whole world will know that even if the Jianming Empire often fails in its pretense, it is still the global hegemon. Pussy clapped his hands on the table excitedly, feeling a sense of pride brewing in his chest, and even his smile gradually became vulgar. Everything began to develop in a good direction. In the future, monuments will be erected all over the world to commemorate the great Pussy. And here, in the Wangxi Empire, Lin Chen made several confused phone calls to the commander's office. The commander's office couldn't figure it out, and he couldn't figure it out either. Where were the monsters? Why weren't there any? The whole world was in an uproar, and people in many countries were in panic, in a depressing atmosphere of being attacked by monsters, but the Empire's offshore sonar monitoring stations were silent, as if this monster attack had nothing to do with the Wangxi Empire. This is the list sent by Zhengli. Jingxi appeared from behind and handed Lin Chen a form. The content of the form: the country of Diana discovered a monster. the country of Kiba discovered 2 monsters. After discovering the monsters, they immediately sent military requests to the Empire and made it clear that they would arrive in the Empire tomorrow for a friendly visit. Just take a look at it yourself, your meaning is my meaning. Lin Chen glanced at the other party, and habitually spoke while stuffing the form into the other party's hand again. Jiangxi nodded and looked at him with bright eyes. Chapter 167. Countries come to ask. It seemed that some emotions were flowing. She succeeded in making Lin Chen feel agitated all over. Really? Jiangxi looked at Lin Chen with her beautiful eyes. What do you mean? Lin Chen looked puzzled. I mean what you mean? Yeah, what's in my heart? Lin Chen spoke subconsciously. Damn ? Lin Chen. Jiangxi was quite kind-hearted. After returning to her bedroom, she contacted Lai. Both she and foreign ministers Lai knew that there were no real friends between countries, only eternal interests. Even so, both countries had helped the empire at one time, so now it was time to help each other. Of course, this did not include the Tianxing race, which naturally had strikingly similar characteristics to the empire. One had become accustomed to treating the other as a younger brother, and the other had become accustomed to treating the other as a big brother. The next day, the world was in a depressing atmosphere. Many people woke up, and when they logged into their computers and opened the reports, the news of the frequent discovery of monsters appeared in people's sight. Without exception, they were all unbelievable. Oh my god, more than 50 countries have discovered monsters one after another. Whoa, are we really going to live underground in the future? I heard that riots have already occurred in some countries. When the news reports began to spread, it was like an unprecedented hurricane sweeping across the world. This time the monster disaster has exceeded everyone's cognition, and the severity caused is difficult to calculate. And on the same day, foreign ministers from more than 30 countries around the world hurriedly took a special plane to the Wangxin Empire. There was only one purpose: to request military assistance. On that day, the Wangxin Empire held an important foreign guest meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, the atmosphere was very warm. The attitude of the foreign ministers of each country who came was extremely humble, because this time they came to ask for help. The foreign minister of Arab had a desperate look on his face. He had just received the news that the riot had begun. Countless people began to breathe desires and magnify them infinitely in despair. He stood up and asked almost eagerly, "Excuse me, will the Wangxin Empire maintain world peace as before?" "Of course, our Wangxin Empire will maintain world peace as always." Xinglai smiled. Everyone was overjoyed, and the reporters behind him kept taking pictures. He stood up and said, "We in arid country have discovered 50 monsters. Since the Wangxin Empire maintains world peace as always, our country now begs the Wangxin Empire for military assistance." Xinglai smacked his lips, neither agreeing nor refusing. These people still want to seek support for free? Look, they are all dreaming. Arab foreign minister continued, "What does your country mean? Maintaining world peace requires costs. Our Wangxin Empire has drawn up a plan overnight. We hope that countries that need assistance can send excellent scientific research teams to work with us. Only in this way can we better maintain world peace in the future." The Wangxin Empire is seriously tearing off its hypocrisy and revealing its rogue face. Starting from Lin Chen, the dividends of taking advantage of the fire have already begun, penetrating into the hearts of every high-level official in the empire. It doesn't matter if you don't answer, it has nothing to do with us anyway. Arab country. Nixa country. God, they are always maintaining world peace. They talk about morality, but are they doing this? At this time, they are still taking advantage of the situation. Shameless scoundrels, every time a monster appears, you will make a lot of money. Everyone felt that 10,000 grass mud horses were running wildly in their hearts. At this time, the foreign minister of Nixa stood up and said, "Hello, Mr. Zhen, our Nixa country has discovered 100 giant monsters and hundreds of small monsters, so we beg your country to help us. Please feel free to ask for remuneration. We will definitely actively raise supplies." As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was in an uproar. If there is no assistance, this country of 1,000 islands will be destroyed. "I'm sorry, we don't need any supplies at the moment, we just need talents." Xinglai refused. The foreign minister of Nixa blushed and said, "Our talents in Nixa will never flow abroad. We can only provide materials as compensation. We will never let you suffer a loss in terms of quantity." "No." Xinglai refused again. The foreign minister of Nixa was angry and snorted, "As far as I know, Jianmeng Empire also has Mechas, and their Mechas have been improved again. Maybe they are more powerful than yours. Since they can't use materials as compensation, they don't want to lower their heads again. Xinglai sneered, then you should go to Jianmeng Empire and ask for help. At present, we will not accept any materials except scientific researchers. The atmosphere was immediately cold. No one expected that the appetite of Wang's empire has become so big now. If it was just materials, everyone could get it together with gritted teeth, but if scientific researchers flowed to Wang's empire, everyone would have to rely on others in the future and would never get ahead. With the further consultations at the meeting, the Xinglai still had no ground to make a move in terms of compensation. If you need assistance, you can let your scientific research team come to Wang's empire. Soon, the meeting ended indifferently. The foreign ministers of various countries left one after another, intending to think of other ways, or to unite to put pressure on the Wang's empire. The foreign ministers of the Dianya Kingdom and the Kiba Kingdom sighed. The two small countries did not have many scientific research teams at all. They could get the materials by gritting their teeth, but now the Wang's empire has changed its style and become very tough. The two are also planning to leave. Xinglai said in time. Don't be discouraged, considering the actual situation of the Dianya Kingdom and the Kiba Kingdom, we have come to the conclusion that we will send Mecha troops to maintain your peace in the shortest time, and the remuneration will be settled by calculating the consumption of ammunition. Sure. The two foreign affairs teams were overjoyed and almost cried with excitement. The motherland is saved. Finally, it has lived up to the unconditional support of the Wang's empire in the World Parliament for many years. This wave is worth it. In the future, the friendship between the Wang's empire and its motherland must be included in the textbooks. As soon as the foreign minister of Nixa stood up, he heard that Wang's empire was going to give special treatment to Dianya and Kiba. He immediately refused to do it. The remuneration paid for the assistance he needed was calculated based on the scientific research team. Why should the assistance be calculated based on reasonably priced materials? What kind of bandit logic is this? The foreign minister of Nixa laughed and said loudly, will our Nixa country also settle the remuneration with materials? He was so loud that some foreign ministers of other countries who had just left also came back one after another and looked at Xinglai with a questioning look. Okay. Everyone came to Wang's empire to ask for help because they think highly of you, but you are really not human beings. You actually treat them differently. Xinglai refused again. Absolutely impossible. Then why can Dianya and Kiba settle with materials? The foreign minister of Nixa shouted loudly, with a broken jaw. Anyway, if there is no support, the country will be destroyed by monsters sooner or later. Maybe they can fight for it and bring everyone present to put pressure on Wang's empire to get assistance. Immediately, many people united tacitly and began to put pressure on the Wang's empire and pressure public opinion. You are using bandit logic. We will protest to the World Parliament. You are robbing under the guise of maintaining world peace. The Wang's empire has always claimed that all parties will support it when it is in trouble. Now we are in trouble, but where is your support? It's not for nothing that we ask you to support us. We will also pay for the material remuneration, but you actually set your sights on scientific researchers, who are the lifeblood of a country. How can an ugly face be the image of an empire? People are all united against the enemy and complain about the unfairness. The clamor in the venue continued, rising and falling. In their cognition, the Wang's empire is not only labeled as an honest man who is easy to bully, but they have always cared about their image in the world. Therefore, now that everyone unites to put pressure, they are not afraid that the Wang's empire will not choose to compromise. Xinglai suddenly lost control of the situation, and his originally tough attitude suddenly stagnated. Everyone, please be quiet. But it was useless. Unless we can come up with a result that satisfies these people, they will not stop shouting and smearing. Xinglai frowned and thought. Jiangmen Jiwan and Yangming could not come. It seems that the only one who can show up at the scene with a tough attitude is Lin Chen. He decisively contacted Lin Chen. After a while, Lin Chen hurried to the venue to replace Xinglai on the stage, looking at the crowd below the stage with a gloomy face. Thank you for the reward from Pocket Empty, thank you for the recommendation votes and monthly tickets from all friends. Thank you everyone. Chapter 168 No one understands better than me. The shouting from the audience faded because of Xinglai's end. The foreign ministers of nearly 30 countries stopped shouting and looked up and down at Lin Chen. It took them a long time to figure out who the young man standing on the stage was. It can be said that without this young man, the Wang's empire would never have achieved what it is today. Whether it's Mechas or flying to outer space, they are almost all closely related to this young man. Speak up, why don't you say anything? Lin Chen's voice was flat, but his hands hidden under the desk were clenched tightly, clearly an expression of extreme restraint. Everyone felt that the Wang's empire was ready to compromise. The foreign minister of Mechas said, "We need the assistance of the Wang's empire, and the remuneration will definitely not be vague. As for the empire's proposal to settle the remuneration by treating the scientific research team as goods, we will never agree. That's right, scientific research power is the lifeblood of a country and cannot be lost." Foreign ministers of other countries responded one after another. Lin Chen could no longer bear it, and immediately responded domineeringly, "You want assistance, but you don't want to follow our way. How can such a good thing happen? We think you were all dreaming." This scene was broadcast to the whole country through reporters. Many people who were watching the news were originally annoyed by the foreigners' insatiable desire, but when they saw Lin Chen's domineering attack, their big mouths immediately turned into knot shape. Lin Chen is awesome. Suddenly, everyone's blood boiled, and they were so excited that they couldn't help but feel a bit like a middle school student. The Wang's empire should be so domineering. Jingxia immediately covered her face with her slender hands. Xinglai felt that he seemed to have made a wrong decision. At this moment, almost many people were speechless. Those foreign ministers of various countries who had been clamoring before were speechless and their bodies were completely sprayed. They were stunned and a little embarrassed. Instinctively glared at Lin Chen, and he actually sprayed them in such an occasion. However, what's the use of being angry? Even if I want to refute it now, I can't find any reason to refute it. Lin Chen faced these people without any stage fright. He talked freely and talked about the betrayal of these countries to the Wang's empire. "Why do we need your consent if we want to help someone? Let's talk about you, Kenya in Black Continent, right? At the beginning, the Wang's empire had several cooperation projects with you. When the cooperation was about to be completed, you terminated it and put it into operation privately after the termination. You betrayed us and didn't pay us any fees. And your Nixa country has always excluded Wang's. Even now our people go to Nixa country, they are not protected by local laws. Now you talk to us about human rights and peace? You all think of us when you have difficulties. What have you been doing before?" Lin Chen talked about the various betrayals of these countries one by one. The world has always thought that the Wang's empire is easy to bully, so they are all kinds of rolling meat. And a large part of these countries present have provoked the Wang's empire in various ways before. In the past, in the era of Jingmin Jiwan and Yang Ming, there was nothing the Wang's empire could do. But now the times have changed. When faced with a global crisis, strength is the only way, so the future attitude of the Wang's empire will change with Lin Chen's influence in the empire. In the end, this farce ended dismally because of Lin Chen's domineering response. Although all countries were unwilling, what could they do? On this day, the cohesion of the Wang's empire reached an unprecedented height. Many people were infected by Lin Chen's domineering appearance, and they couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in their hearts. So they recorded a video and posted it on major social platforms with very burning music. The social platforms all exploded. No matter how you brush it, it's all Lin Chen's domineering and madly spraying foreign ministers of various countries under the camera of reporters. It's like brainwashing, and the citizens never get tired of watching it. That's right, these dog-day foreigners are treacherous. Now that we're in trouble, we know to think of us. If you don't help, then don't help. I feel very proud of myself as Wang Xinren. The empire straightened its spine. In the face of all kinds of unruly and unreasonable troubles, he responded directly and domineeringly, leaving them speechless. At the same time, in the Jianmeng Empire, Pussy has been waiting for news from various countries asking for help. This is another opportunity to demonstrate strength, which must not be missed. At the same time, as long as the countries in the world are not stupid, they will definitely come to the door to be slaughtered. For this reason, Pussy has discussed the reward for destroying monsters with many senior executives no less than 5 times. No money, just supplies and metals. But Pussy and many senior executives waited happily in the office for a whole day, and did not wait for any news of help. The beautified fantasy did not happen, and these people were anxious. What happened? The monster disaster will attack more than 50 countries this time. Why didn't anyone come to ask for help in fear? Are they all stubborn and self-righteous and think that they can destroy monsters? At this moment, many senior executives headed by Pussy are extremely eager to receive good news of help from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. They can't hold back their desire to show off. Soon, he hurriedly sent his subordinates to collect the information he wanted to see why no one came to Jianmeng Empire for help. An hour later, Princess Aika, Pussi's eldest daughter and the chief consultant of Jianmeng Empire, promptly reported the news. Because we frequently had accident when we showed our strength before, all countries don't believe that we can destroy monsters, and now they are all in Wangxin Empire. Pussi was devastated. Oh, fuck. But it seems that all of them were sprayed by Lin Chen of Wangxi Empire, and they can't get off the stage. Cool, this is really good news for us. That Lin Chen is clearly pushing the fat sheep to our side. Afterwards, Pussi quickly ordered the Minister of the Interior to prepare for the relevant matters of the press conference, announcing that the new type of dangerous wanderers has been successfully transformed and can protect the world. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I want to appear in person. Pussi's smile gradually became obscene. Soon, the eyes of the world focused on Jianmeng Empire. Outside Pussi's mansion, countless reporters came to the lawn of the press conference early after receiving the invitation from Jianmeng Empire. The reporters once again broadcast the live broadcast to every corner of the world. At the beginning of the press conference, the atmosphere on the scene was quite warm, or it could be said that in a situation where the whole world was almost desperate, it was the Jianmeng Empire that brought the dawn of hope to the world. Many reporters were so excited that they couldn't hold the microphone steadily. A reporter asked excitedly, "Excuse me, Mr. Pussi, has the Jianmeng Empire's Mecha dangerous wanderer really been successfully transformed?" Pussi smiled and said, "Yes, in fact, the new type of dangerous wanderer transformed by our Jianmeng Empire has been completed a long time ago, but we are more low-key." The reporter asked again, "Excuse me, can the new type of dangerous wanderer really destroy monsters?" Pussi immediately felt that he had turned into a great prophet, and he was full of confidence and boasted, "Of course it can destroy monsters. In fact, no one knows Mechas better than me, especially the Mechas that have been transformed this time. No one knows better than me." Everyone present. Chapter 169 The Prophet. The atmosphere at the scene suddenly became strangely quiet. Everyone was embarrassed. It felt like 1,000 grass mud horses were roaring through their hearts. And this scene was also broadcast live to the entire Jianmeng Empire. In order to be able to show off, Pussi's attributes broke out unprecedentedly at this moment, but the strong self-confidence like a prophet did not infect everyone. Jianmeng people. Many Jianmeng people generally believe that now is definitely not the time to have fun, because the more excited you are now, the more depressed you will be in a short time. This is a lesson from the past, the lesson of pretending to be awesome. At the press conference, Pussi pointed confidently at the huge screen behind him, and Lin Chen announced, "Next, please welcome our Jianmeng Empire's new Mecha dangerous wanderers." The screen lit up, and rows of steel giants comparable to high-rise buildings appeared in the picture. They are more heroic and strong than the previous generation of dangerous wanderers. Their huge bodies have a very linear industrial beauty, which is very in line with human aesthetics, and they are all equipped with weapons and protective gear. Even every time these Mechas move, even across the screen, everyone present still feels a tremor of fear. The reporters' mouths have turned into knot shape. Although we don't know how powerful these Mechas are, they look good, and they are not inferior to the Wangxin Mechas in appearance. Pussi showed a satisfied smile. The shocking effect brought by the new dangerous wanderers this time is good, but it is far from the desired effect. He urgently wants to have a gorgeous transformation of the new dangerous wanderers beating monsters, so that the whole world will be shocked by the new dangerous wanderers. "Everyone, have you found any difference in our new dangerous wanderers?" Pussi boasted proudly. "They look good. At present, the only Jianmeng Empire in the world that can mock it is the Wangxin Empire." A Wangxin reporter spoke with a smile. Suddenly, the Jianmeng people were so angry that they trembled all over. "It's the shitty Wangxin Empire again. Every time they meet them, there will be no good results." Pussi's face sank. And reporters from other countries can't directly judge those new dangerous wanderers like the Wangxin Empire. But they noticed one thing. It was hard to tell what technology those Mechas used. In short, judging from their actions, they were more agile than the previous generation of dangerous wanderers, and their strength must have changed dramatically. Awesome, Jianmeng Empire. As expected of the world's hegemon, only Jianmeng Empire can have this technology. These Mechas are so powerful. Many reporters flattered the country because it was about to be attacked by monsters, hoping that Jianmeng Empire would send Mechas to help. Pussi began to feel elated. This long-lost feeling was really great. At this time, Wang's reporter asked again, "Can the new dangerous wanderers really eliminate monsters? Will it be like before?" And in the end it was the Mechas of Wang's empire that saved the world. Pussy looked confident. "I didn't want to answer your provocative question, but I still have to answer you. After all, no one knows monsters better than me, so I know that the new dangerous wanderers will blow up the monsters with one punch." Everyone at the scene. This scene was also broadcast live to the Jianmeng Empire. Pussy's confident demeanor immediately made countless Jianmeng people hold their head in their hands and shout in disbelief. Oh no. The old guy Pussy completely turned the press conference into his own personal show. At present, if you want to choose a prophet from the world, then this person must be Pussy. He successfully broke through everyone's cognition by answering the reporter's sentence, "No one knows Mecha better than me and no one knows monsters better than me." Some netizens even broke the news that Pussy also knows spaceships. The Jianmeng Empire began to go crazy. At the press conference, Pussy once again confidently began to introduce the new type of dangerous wanderer. After all, no one knows Mecha better than him. Mecha. New dangerous wanderer. Height. 82 meters. Weight. 2,000 tons. Performance. Greatly enhanced speed and combat capability. Weapons. Z-type cold wire cannon, energy cannon. Following Pussy's introduction, the press conference site and even the countless Jianmeng people in front of the TV began to breathe rapidly. Originally, they felt that the new dangerous wanderer was just a showpiece, but now it feels so awesome. Countless people began to look forward to it. With the end of the press conference, the core content of today was also sent to their respective countries by reporters from various countries. So, those foreign ministers of various countries who are still helpless in the Wang's Empire all rushed to the Jianmeng Empire. After a bargaining, the Jianmeng Empire promised to help all countries eliminate monsters. The whole world began to actively prepare to fight against the upcoming monsters, or hurriedly evacuate the people. In short, it became a mess. Those with strength are ready to fight a big fight, while those without strength are anxiously waiting for the assistance of the Jianmeng Empire. After all, no matter how strong the combat effectiveness of the Jianmeng Empire's Mecha is, it cannot disperse the power of the Mecha. So more than 30 weak countries also showed different treatment based on first come first served. The country that gives more materials will be assisted first. As for dangerous countries like Mechas, which not only had few supplies but also had a surprising number of monsters, Pussy directly arranged them on the final list of aid. The foreign minister of Mecha protested seriously. Pussy said coldly, "If you keep talking, our Pacific fleet will be there." The latter was so scared that he dared not speak anymore. You must know that the Jianmeng Empire is different from the Wangxin Empire. They have always been arrogant and unreasonable. The next day, the Jianmeng Empire, the Polar Empire, the Gaga Kingdom, and the Sun Never Sets Alliance were all preparing to resist monsters. And the Wangxi Empire was not idle either. 2 large transport planes landed in Jijie City. "Go," Lin Chen said. Soon, 5 Mechas slowly entered the belly of the transport plane under the control of the pilot. These 5 Mechas were going to assist the Dianya Kingdom and the Kiba Kingdom. After confirming the flight order, the transport plane flew to the west. At this time, in the Kiba Kingdom and the Dianya Kingdom, the monster attack was already counting down. These 2 countries have caused extreme panic. It is very difficult for the military powers to resist the monsters, so what will be the fate of a small country like theirs? The people of the 2 small countries are worried and expectant. It is said that the Minister of Foreign Affairs has gone to the Wangxi Empire to ask for help. Whether the other party will agree or not is still an unknown. At this time, the largest TV station in Kiba is broadcasting an emergency speech by the country's top leaders to the whole country. Fellow Kiba people, our foreign minister has brought back good news. The Wangxi Empire has agreed to our request for assistance. According to the budget, it will arrive in our Kiba country in 6 hours and will resist the monster at the landing site. Don't panic, everyone. From now on, please follow the official arrangements, believe in the strength of the Wangxi Empire, and believe that the Guardian will bring us the dawn of hope. Chapter 170. Let's drink this bowl of Ghanese water to cure diseases and eliminate disasters first. After the high-level officials of Kiba announced it, the country was in a state of excitement. It took only a very short time to go from negative emotions such as despair and panic to excitement. They never doubted the combat effectiveness of the Mechas of the Wangxi Empire. Countless Kiba people in front of the TV were shouting excitedly or whistling. If you have not experienced despair, you will never understand their feelings at this moment. When they heard the news of the monster's attack, they were once desperate, and they couldn't help but feel fear and panic. If they couldn't eliminate the monster, they would eventually perish, and all Kiba people would be homeless. But now it's different, because the aid of the Wang's Empire has come in, and they don't have to be afraid of monsters anymore. With the brewing of time, people kept cheering to vent their excitement. We're saved. After we eliminate this monster, I will marry my new girlfriend who I bought online. The Wang's Empire has always helped us, and them Mechas are the guardians of dawn. The news that the Wang's Empire came to help spread to all directions of Kiba like a hurricane. Different versions of the aid were circulating in cities and towns. It was clearly 3 Mechas, but in the end, according to an old man, it had become an army of 30,000 Mechas. In short, wherever the news reached, there was a boiling excitement. The same was true for the country of Diana, with one wave of calls higher than another. This was the happiness from the dawn of light. At this time in that country of Garca, Lungamo looked extremely unhappy. He was about to ask countries around the world to come to Garca for help. But except for the country of Mechas, which was almost a shithole, no one else came. Why don't you come to our Garca country for help? As long as you come to Garca country for help, I will definitely agree. After driving away the foreign minister of Mechas, Lungamo looked annoyed. Go to aid Mechas. Lungamo had never thought about it. There were 200 monsters of all sizes about to attack that shithole country this time. To help them would really be asking for shit. Lungamo looked at the Minister of the Interior beside him and asked, have all our mecha killers been sent out? They have been sent out. There are a total of 500 terrifying killers. A mere monster is nothing to worry about. The Minister of the Interior's confidence was unprecedentedly overflowing. Lungamo smiled and said, very good, I want our people to watch the monsters die miserably. The Minister of the Interior nodded in agreement. Yes, the most urgent task is to get our people out of despair and face the monsters bravely. After a while, a statement to the whole of Garca officially began, and Lungamo gave a confident speech. Dear Garca compatriots, please don't be afraid. We have Mechas in Garca and 500 terrifying killers. We only need 1 round of volleys to kill the monsters miserably. And the pride of Garca is back. Yes, our motorcycle mobile unit will assist the Mecha unit to eradicate the monsters in one fell swoop. Finally, I always believe that we Garca people are the best nation in the world. It won't be long before the whole world will be proud of our Garca country. Our Mecha unit will eliminate wave after wave of monsters to maintain world peace. Lungamo's strong self-confidence has brought countless Garca people a strong sense of security and pride. That's right, Garca people are the protagonists of this world. Because the Gaka people are the bravest nation, and only the Gaka people dare to drink the Ghanate water in the world. At present, the Gaka country has used 500 of the strongest Mechas. The next battle will definitely beat the monsters in various ways. Of course, what makes countless Gaka people most happy is that the pride of the Gaka country has returned. They have a mysterious admiration for the motorcycle mobile force. I drink this bowl of Ghanate water to celebrate our Gaka country's victory in advance. A Gaka person excitedly proposed on the social networking site. After this proposal, countless Gaka people's eyes lit up. Wonderful, this idea is so wonderful. At this time, if you don't drink a bowl of Ghanate water that can cure diseases and eliminate disasters, you always feel that something is missing. Lungamo was not idle either. After drinking another bottle of high-quality cow urine, he immediately began to look at the leading route of the terrorist killer and the marching route of the motorcycle mobile force. He will personally command the next battle to crush the monster. After a series of deployments, 500 terrifying killers appeared on the beach, waiting for battle. Thousands of motorcycles rumbled in the distance, comparable to the continuous thunder. Each motorcycle was equipped with a dozen or even dozens of calm and unperturbed Gaka warriors. They wanted to wash away the shame of the motorcycle mobile force with actual actions. Meanwhile, over time, the assistance of the Wang's Empire also arrived. In the airspace of Kiba country, 2 large transport planes broke through the clouds, revealing their huge fuselages. In order not to cause unnecessary trouble, the country's air force immediately sent 2 antique fighters to fly to high altitudes to meet and lead the way. Our friends in Kiba country, you have worked hard all the way. Thank you for coming to help us from thousands of miles away. The Kiba pilot used the communicator to contact the transport plane and immediately greeted them warmly. Hello. The Wangzhen pilot responded with a polite greeting. After the 4 planes flew west for a distance, a transport plane continued to fly west alone to support the Diana country. When another transport plane was about to land at the airport, the rear cabin opened, and 3 Mechas appeared and continued to fly southwest, flying to the place where the monster had been calculated to land. 3 people and 3 machines, all with satellite positioning, so they would not get lost at all. Looking down, the buildings along the way were full of flags of Wangzhen. After a while, 3 Mechas landed on the seashore full of reefs. Boom boom boom. They faced the sea, and were about to use their superb driving skills to show off the monsters to the point of numbness. At this time, according to the intelligence sent by the Empire, the time for the monster to appear was not far away. One of the pilots was not nervous at all, but said with curiosity, "After destroying the monster, will the higher-ups approve us to take a 2-day vacation here? You think too much." "Why?" "The progress of overseas compatriots returning to China from Nixa is very slow. I heard that Nixa seems to be deliberately blocking it. I guess the Empire is likely to intervene by force. Do you think there is still a chance to take a vacation?" Inside the 3 humanoid Mechas, the 3 pilots kept communicating in the communicator. Finally, several people were silent. Lin Chen gives people the impression that his handsome face always has a smile on it, which always gives people a very unreliable feeling, but people who are familiar with him know that Lin Chen's attitude has always been tough. If things really get unpleasant, with Lin Chen's personality, he won't care about international image and international public opinion, and will beat you if you don't obey. At this time, their indicator panel suddenly changed, and Lin Chen appeared in it, saying seriously, "Don't make random guesses." The 3 pilots. Damn, which bastard didn't turn off the base's communicator? Fortunately, he didn't say some dirty jokes about him and Miss Ship. Chapter 171. God bless you not to roll over again soon. Something strange happened on the calm sea surface. 2 huge shadows visible to the naked eye appeared in the seawater and were approaching quickly. The monsters arrived as promised, and the battle was about to start. The 3 pilots on the reef were in a state of panic. According to their previous combat experience, they had to take even the easiest battle seriously. A few minutes later, 2 monsters comparable to mountains, the 4-winged lizard beasts, broke out of the water. The monsters are coming. Suddenly, the entire Kiba kingdom was breathing tense. Among the countries that have started global live broadcasts, there is no doubt that the number of viewers in the Diana kingdom and Kiba kingdom is the largest. Just because here you can see the scene of the Wangzhen Empire's mecha beating the monsters, but if you watch the live broadcasts of other countries, it will definitely be the scene of the monster beating the mecha. As soon as the monster appeared, 3 large reptiles were seen, and they immediately opened their bloody mouths and roared angrily. They came to this world to destroy everything they saw. The 2 4-winged lizard beasts were as big as mountains, but not bulky. They rushed forward with a suffocating and desperate momentum. The battle has begun. A pilot began to control the mecha to fly into the sky. Use your strengths to attack the opponent's weaknesses. Immediately, the other 2 pilots also flew into the sky in the same way. Chirp, chirp, a series of bright beams poured out from the particle beam gun. The 2 4-winged lizard beasts also sensed the danger, opened their bloody mouths again, and gathered energy. A storm of energy with a hint of blue arcs was like 2 huge hurricanes. However, the mobility of the mecha was fully opened, perfectly avoiding all attacks of the 4-winged lizard beasts. Yin. The 2 4-winged lizard beasts were furious, and the mechanical wings behind them were about to take off with their huge bodies, but a series of bright beams came. They didn't care about the attacks of such reptiles at all, because they hit super strong physical resistance and energy shields, and it was a pipe dream to want to hurt them. But particle weapons are different from ammunition. They belong to the category of energy attacks. Chirp, 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 beams of light hit the monster's huge body with unimaginable power. Soon, the monster's body was pierced. A lot of red blood gushed out from the bowl-sized puncture wound. This was simply a one-sided massacre. Since the advent of particle weapons, monsters have become fragile under the control of Mechas. A 4-winged lizard beast struggled for a while, with a strong sense of unwillingness, but its vitality was almost exhausted and it crashed into the reef on the shore, deader than dead. The battle was very easy. The Sinming driver smiled and said, "Okay, let's end the last monster now." The 3 Mechas all aimed their particle beam guns at the last 4-winged lizard beast. Yin. The last 4-winged lizard beast was furious and let out angry roars. Just as the driver was about to kill it, the scarlet eyes of the 4-winged lizard beast suddenly changed. It was no longer full of tyranny as before, and even revealed a trace of wisdom and emotion. It seemed to have received some instructions, and its huge body turned around and wanted to retrieve back to the sea again. It was too late. If you want to escape now, you can't escape the intensive attack of the Mecha. If you destroy the human city, you must be prepared to die. The three Mechas in the sky will not let this monster go. Chirp chirp in the sky, under the huge firepower network of the three Mechas, the monster is like a light target for shooting practice. The drivers were so excited in the battle that they used up the energy at the pulse point power supply inside the particle beam gun. Swoosh, 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 the Mecha was fully powered, and the particle beam sword was fully powered. Then, under the conventional effect of the Mecha, the three huge lightsabers, the huge body of the four-winged lizard beast rolled to the ground, and its huge body was cut horribly. The battle on the seashore ended, and the sound of waves hitting the rocks came again. If it weren't for the two huge corpses of monsters in this battle, it would be unimaginable that there had been a scene of a battle between Mechas and monsters here. At this time, the people of Kiba, who had been anxiously waiting for good news, cheered immediately after hearing the official announcement of joy. We won, we won. It's awesome, it's a crushing victory. Wow, 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 I don't have to worry about anything anymore. Countless people excitedly rushed to the streets to cheer and celebrate. Some even spontaneously saluted the flag of the Huangxian that was fluttering in the wind. It was really hard to think of any other way to thank the Huangxian Empire. At this time, many countries were paying attention to the battle between Kiba and Dianya. Among them, there were many leaders from various countries who wanted to compare with them. However, no one expected that it would end so quickly. So Lunamo, Puss, and Nicholas were all very unhappy. How come it is always the Huangxian Empire that successfully demonstrates its strength? When will I be able to be like the Huangxian Empire, with every move and gesture bringing out the shocking effect of showing off? It would be great if our terrorist killer also had this kind of strength. Lungamo's tone was super sour. The monsters of Kiba and Dianya have been destroyed, but the monster of Gaga has not landed yet. After waiting for a long time, there was no movement of the monsters. Lungamo forced himself to explain, could it be that the monsters are afraid? Other than that, there is really no far-fetched reason. After a while, the Minister of the Interior rushed in with a look of joy on his face, and said with a smile, good news, good news. According to the speed of the monster, it is expected to land in 10 minutes. Lungamo was overjoyed. This is indeed good news. If it were in the past, Lungamo hated monsters to the extreme, but now it is different. Now that he has the strength, of course he must get back at the monsters and demonstrate his strength to the world. Quick, turn on the global live broadcast. Lungamo roared with joy. This time, only one monster appeared in the kingdom of Garka, and he wanted to let the audiences all over the world see how the Mecha army of the kingdom of Garka beat the monster violently. Maybe few people will watch it, after all, the Jianmeng Empire is about to start a global live broadcast. The Minister of the Interior was a little resentful, implying that the global audience thought that the new Mecha dangerous wanderer of the Jianmeng Empire was more interesting, and no one in the kingdom of Garka was interested at all. Lungamo was almost angry and vomited blood. Our Garka kingdom is super strong. Even so, he was furious and wanted to show the strength of the kingdom of Garka to the world. Even if there were no global audiences, he wanted to let countless Garka people watch it, so that the people could regain the pride of being Garka people. A few minutes later, the live TV broadcast began. Countless Garka people watched the pictures on TV anxiously and nervously. Everyone couldn't help but put their hands together and prayed secretly. God bless us, our Garka kingdom must not overturn again. Chapter 172. Fortunately the monster ran fast. In fact, the guerrilla tactics proposed by Lungamo of the Garka kingdom were not used. Originally, they wanted to conduct a sniper attack on the coast, and then use the city's bunkers to fight the monsters, or use motorcycle mobile forces to attract the monsters. But when 500 horror killers were lined up, the shocking effect alone made countless people feel dry mouth, not to mention the internal energy cannons contained in the 500 horror killers. Just one round of attack seriously injured the monster that had just landed and had no defensor. The scene was earth-shaking. Lungamo commanded the battle from a distance. The second round of energy cannons began to charge. After a while, the second round of attack officially began. Chirp chirp, 500 energy cannons, 500 bright beams of light hit the monster, wrapping it in a huge ball of light. Is the monster dead? This was the common voice of the Garka kingdom at this time. Soon when the light faded, the monster on the shore had turned into a pile of rotten meat. The Gaga Kingdom successfully killed the monster with 2 rounds of attacks. What monster disaster! What humans are powerless to resist monsters? What monsters are a disaster to the world? Now they are nothing in front of the Mega Horror Killer. This proves that after the initial exhaustion of resistance, humans have the capital to compete with monsters. Monsters will no longer be a disaster in the future. Lungama was in the limelight for a while, and this record was enough to brag about for a lifetime. Now 500 Mechas can kill a monster in 2 rounds of attack. If there are 5,000 horror killers, wouldn't it be easy to kill 10 monsters? It seems that the Gaga country has really risen. And today is destined to be a day that will be recorded in the history of the Gaga country. This is the 2nd monster killed by the Gaga country. In the future, there will definitely be more monsters that will die tragically under the ruthless artillery fire of the horror killer. Countless Gaga people began to breathe rapidly, staring at the TV. They can no longer remain silent. Is this the rhythm of our Gaga country's rise? In the future, our Gaga country will protect the peace of the world. Tonight I must get drunk with my sister-in-law next door to celebrate today's exciting good news. From now on, our Gaga country is a real mecha power. Just ask if the monsters are still convinced. Countless Gaga people were very happy. The news that another country successfully resisted the monster spread quickly. But some people were even more unhappy. Originally, the Wang's Empire's success in pretending to be powerful once again made Pussy, Nicholas and other big guys feel unhappy, but a small scoundrel like Gaga country can successfully destroy a monster. Pussy's face was not very good. He hurriedly threw the information of Gaga country aside and said to the Minister of the Interior, "Oh, fuck, tell our pilots that they must show some dazzling results, otherwise they will all be sinners of the Jianmeng Empire." That's right. The Minister of the Interior agreed deeply. Gaga country has already destroyed the monster. If the Jianmeng Empire can't show some dazzling results again. Damn, that's too embarrassing. Who knows how that old guy Lungamo will show off. Here. Far away on the shore of the Yarg country. There are more than 30 new dangerous wanderers on the coast waiting for battle, and the real decisive factor is the giant energy cannon behind these steel giants. After all, after monitoring by the Aba country, 50 monsters are about to attack. So the next battle will be a tough and fierce battle. Although the Jianmeng Empire is blindly confident, it is not stupid. It fully utilizes firepower coordination under the situation of great disparity in strength. Just when the 60 pilots were adjusting their mentality in the Mecha, they suddenly received news from the Empire. One by one, they were furious. What? Even the Gaga country can destroy monsters? I can't stand it. I must show the most amazing driving skills to knock all the monsters to the ground and make a gorgeous transformation. Half an hour later. On the coast of the Arab country, a weird and not fierce battle ended. Those pilots who were ready to do something big before have fallen into a state of brain shutdown. Because the battle was quite fierce at the beginning, it was even more shocking than the amazing effects of the theater blockbusters. It was just that we finally killed a 4-winged lizard beast with great effort, but the remaining 49 monsters suddenly changed their tempers from tyranny. After leaving behind that body of a companion, they all dived into the sea and disappeared without a trace. What happened? The drivers. Why did the monsters run away just now? Were they shocked by our powerful aura and fighting power? That should be the case, and it is difficult to find any other reasonable reason. Thinking of the once invincible monsters being beaten into drowning dogs and running away in disgrace. Then the pride in the hearts of the drivers was unprecedented. Tonight, we must use public funds to celebrate today's victory in nightclubs. And this scene was also broadcast live to the Jianmeng Empire. Originally, countless Jianmeng people were not very excited about saving the world this time, and they were even tired of it. After all, there were too many lessons learned before. No matter it was the first time, they blew loudly before the war, but when the battle started, everything was exposed and they were beaten by monsters. But today, a shocking scene happened. The Jianmeng Empire succeeded in pretending to be awesome. The new Mecha Dangerous Wanderer actually drove away the monsters that were coming with great momentum and wanted to destroy the world. Immediately, countless Jianmeng people wanted to be proud and began to get agitated again, and they couldn't suppress it at all. The Jianmeng people, who were excited and couldn't calm down for a long time, began to shout wildly to express their inner emotions. It seemed that only in this way could they do what they should do. Wow, our Mechas are so cool, they are the pride of our Jianmeng Empire. We are the beacon of freedom and democracy. God, I know you have been guiding us to eliminate monsters to protect world peace. At this moment, the cohesion of the Jianmeng Empire was unprecedented, and the original disappointment in the Jianmeng Empire was gone, and their pride as Jianmeng people was awakened again. At this time, Pussy was also ecstatic. It was too unexpected. He also considered all the things that could happen, such as the new dangerous wanderers being beaten by monsters, and the new dangerous wanderers engaging in a fierce battle with monsters. But he never thought that he could actually drive away the aggressive monsters. This is perfect. Driving away monsters is more able to show the strength of the Jianmeng Empire than destroying them. Cool. Pussy sneered. Fortunately, those monsters run fast, otherwise they would all be blown up with one punch. The Minister of the Interior looked as if he wanted to say something but stopped. He always felt that there was something he couldn't figure out, something strange. It was too abnormal. This was really not the usual style of those ferocious monsters. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 173. Little Hope. Such an impressive record, driving the monster away, can be said to be the bitter history of the Jianmeng Empire. They can't remember how many ups and downs they have experienced along the way, and now they are finally proud of themselves, especially this battle is broadcast live around the world. Quick, hold a press conference. I want to seize this opportunity to maximize the response. Pussy was almost unable to hold back and let himself go. The Jianmeng Empire has successfully driven away the monster. If it doesn't show off in front of reporters, it will be too uncomfortable and unacceptable. The Minister of the Interior looked embarrassed and said in a deep voice, "Isn't the monster's escape too strange?" Pussy was dissatisfied. "Do you think I can't see the strangeness? We must seize this opportunity to enhance our international influence and enhance the people's confidence in the Jianmeng Empire." The Minister of the Interior felt that what Pussy said made some sense. The current Jianmeng Empire really needs a big victory. In the past, every time it showed off its strength, it was messed up. I'm afraid that the whole world will soon forget who the global hegemon is. After a while, another press conference was held. The scale of the press conference was even larger than the previous one, because the Jianmeng Empire had driven away the monster. Basically, after receiving the official invitation, all the reporters stationed in Jianmeng arrived at the scene as soon as possible without missing a single person. Judging from the record of driving away the monster, the Mecha of the Jianmeng Empire may have surpassed that of the Wangxian Empire. This is definitely a big event. Pussy was full of confidence in front of thousands of reporters and spoke freely. "You all just saw it, right? Our Jianmeng Empire's new dangerous wanderers have beaten the monsters and made them flee. This shows that our Mechas scare the monsters. As far as I know, the Mechas of the Wangxian Empire have never frightened monsters. This also shows that the strength of the new dangerous wanderers has far surpassed the Wangxian Mechas. And today should be a day remembered by the whole world. The whole world should thank us. It is our Mechas that have made the monsters afraid. In the future, the world will no longer be invaded by monsters under the protection of the Jianmeng Empire. After all, our dangerous wanderers have scared the monsters." After praising the Wangxian Empire and stepping on it, he felt much better. Thousands of reporters. The audience in front of the TV. This old guy finally succeeded in pretending to be cool as he wished, and he couldn't help but let himself go. A reporter asked, "Excuse me, why are the new dangerous wanderers more powerful than the Mechas of the Wangxian Empire?" Pussy said seriously, "Of course, although I have never understood the technology, I know Mechas very well, and no one has studied them more deeply than me." The king of understanding attributes broke out again. Many reporters. Wangxian reporter asked, "Excuse me, will Mr. Pussy come up with convincing evidence?" Pussy said confidently, "The facts are in front of us. Monsters have always been synonymous with destroying everything. Various signs have shown that they are not afraid of life and death. Although the Wangxian Empire has been destroying monsters, only we can scare away monsters, only the new dangerous wanderers of our Jianmeng Empire." After a while, the press conference ended. And countless Jianmeng people have been infected, and they are almost proud and unable to extricate themselves. That's right. What Pussy said is all right. The Mechas of the Wangxian Empire are very strong, but they are not at the same level as the Mechas of the Jianmeng Empire. One can only destroy monsters, and the other can scare monsters away. The answer is immediately clear. And a day later, when some news came from all over the world. After the Alpha of the Polar Empire successfully killed a monster, the other monsters were also scared and fled into the sea and disappeared without a trace. Could a weakling like Alpha scare away monsters? Of course, the most speechless thing is that the armies of the two empires of France and England joined forces to kill a monster and also scared away a monster. Suddenly, the countless people of the Jianming Empire who were proud for a day became deflated balls again. Oh, fuck, that old man Pussy lead again. That's right, what about scaring away monsters? He's full of nonsense. Disappointment. Disappointment with the Jianming Empire again. That old man Pussy also boasted that the new dangerous wanderer was stronger than the Mecha of the Wangxian Empire. He also boasted that he scared away monsters. As a result, the next day, all the lies were exposed. The incident continued to ferment, and the assistance of the Jianming Empire was still running back and forth between countries to drive away monsters. More and more people around the world began to pay attention to the escape of monsters. This is just like the first time the monster appeared, it deeply caught the thinking of countless scientific research teams. At present, it is certain that the monster escaped not as Pussy said, but was scared away. At this time, in the Wangxian Empire, many researchers have also conducted extensive research on the monster escape. Some experts speculate that the monster may not have enough energy. Some professors also speculate that the monster may have evolved. There are all kinds of strange ideas, but there is no convincing evidence. In the end, everyone looked at Lin Chen. Why are you looking at me? I'm not a monster. Could it be that aliens controlled the monster to escape? Lin Chen said. Everyone. If it is really aliens who control the monster to escape, it's too ridiculous. After studying the monster's corpse, the data showed that there is indeed a set of mysterious signals in the monster's body that control it. But this signal is far from reaching the command to control the retreat, and the aliens are in another world and it is impossible to control it in real time. Here, we are still analyzing various possibilities of the monster as usual. At this time, the Jianming Empire was still making a fortune all over the world. Although it became easier to resist monsters, there were still more than 30 countries waiting for them to rescue. On the other side, the neighbor of the Wangxi Empire, the Nixa Kingdom, known as the Thousand Islands. It would take them half a month to wait for the rescue of the Jianming Empire, but now hundreds of monsters have shown their power together. More than a dozen large cities have been destroyed. On average, 3 cities are reduced to ruins every day, and thousands of people are displaced. The country is completely desperate. Their current situation is like a ship pit. The Gaka Kingdom dare not come, the Polar Empire dare not come, and the Wangxi Empire is unwilling to come. So now they can only look forward to the rescue of the Jianming Empire, but even if they wait, what can they do? Will there still be the Nixa Kingdom at the time? Now there have been riots and riots in the country, and all the negative news that can be thought of are often staged in the country. Control. How to control? In despair, people will become crazy and do things they wanted to do but didn't dare to do before. In just a few days, the Nixa Kingdom suffered heavy losses. Hope is completely gone. Chapter 174 Wangxinren's Nightmare. The disaster brought by the monsters has been beyond imagination. They have their own buffs. It seems that wherever they go, it is like a plague. There is no water at all. At the time, outside the palace of the Emperor of Mechas, a large number of troops were guarding against those desperate and crazy people. The Emperor of the country, Zhou have turned his black hair into white hair due to worry. Oh, natural disasters and man-made disasters. Zhou paced back and forth in his office anxiously. After a while, the Minister of Internal Affairs hurried in. The eyes of the Emperor of Mechas, Zhou suddenly lit up. The hope of Mecha depended on him. Sorry, the Jianming Empire said that the arrangement will not change. Let us send troops to fight monsters first. If we fight one monster, then the other monsters will run away. The Minister of Internal Affairs said. Damn it, that old thing Pussy is deliberately making fun of us. Zhou was furious. In just a few days, most of the army of Nixa was gone. If the monsters could be eliminated, who would go around asking for help like a grandson? We don't have any other options at the moment. If things get unpleasant, the Jianming Empire might resort to force against us. The Minister of the Interior looked worried. The Emperor of Mechas, Zhou knew that the Jianming Empire had always been arrogant and overbearing. They would deal with anyone they disliked and beat anyone they disobeyed. So at the moment, even though Nixa was in a desperate situation, they sent people to protect the Jianming people in Nixa. Fortunately, the Nixa people in the country still had some sense and did not touch any of them. Zhou's face was fierce. Increase the intensity of setting up checkpoints to prevent Master Wang from leaving Nexus, and strive for assistance from those who threaten the Wangxian Empire. I don't think it's likely. The Minister of the Interior spoke again. What if we divert the desperate madness of the people? Do you mean to direct the atrocities to Master Wang in our country? Twilmu's heart skipped a beat. That's right, those damned Wangxian always make us Nixia people work, and now they want to go back to Wangxi Empire when they are in trouble. Don't you think we have been exploited by them? Let me think about it. Twilmu swallowed his saliva. He knew very well what he would gain and what he would face if he did that. The next day, it was time to submit various reports again. Twilmu, the Emperor of Nexus, looked at the thick list of deaths or missing persons for a long time and couldn't calm down. There were more women who died on the list. Driven by desperate madness, many Nixia people did things to women that were more hateful than beasts. We can't sit and wait for death anymore. The Minister of the Interior's eyes were almost red with anxiety. This evil must be diverted. Obviously, direct prevention will cause a backlash, and it must be diverted little by little so that the Nixia people will transfer their madness to Wangxian. Go and ask the Wangxi Empire for assistance again. If they still don't agree. Twilmu paused and said gloomily, then the Wangxian people in Nixia can only be used to relieve the madness of our Nixia people. Several Wangxian people died on the first day, and now dozens of Wangxian people have died within a day, including Wangxian women. Those photos are shocking. Twilmu weighed the pros and cons. If the other party doesn't agree, he has no choice but to do this. The Minister of the Interior nodded and agreed to the other party. Soon, the Wangxi Empire was contacted. After half a day of repeated consultations, both sides were very unhappy. Neither side would give in. One side believed that the scientific researchers should be kept for the future comeback of Nexus, and the other side wanted the scientific researchers, and would never provide assistance if they didn't agree. The Minister of the Interior of the Wangxi Empire said in a deep voice, "Since neither side has reached an agreement, please cancel the interception along the way and let our overseas Wangxian leave Nixia." The Minister of the Interior of Nixia said, "Nixia is currently suffering from a disaster. If no checkpoints are set up, panic will spread throughout the country. Why can the Jianmeng people leave Nixia at will, while our overseas Wangxian have to pay high fees and even lose their property to go to the port city? The Jianmeng Empire promised to help Nixia and should be taken care of. We have no time to take care of Wangxian. I advise you not to let the overseas compatriots of the Wangxi Empire suffer even a little loss, otherwise you will be finished." The Minister of the Interior of the Wangxi Empire was furious. What kind of logic is this? The Jianmeng people are human beings, but Wangxian is not a human being. The Minister of the Interior of Nixia hung up the phone with a sneer, not caring about the warning in the words. "Nixia is almost finished, who cares about your verbal warnings, and besides, then Nixia is an ally of the Jianmeng Empire. With the Jianmeng Empire protecting it, how dare the Wangxi Empire make trouble?" Afterwards, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nixia came to the Emperor's palace with a smile on his face to report the matter. Control the riot appropriately. There are more than 1 billion people in Wangxian. Even if 18,000 of them die, Wangxi Empire can only bear it with the mediation of Jianmeng Empire. Nixia Emperor Twilmu pondered for a while. He has always disliked Wangxian. Now he uses Wangxian to quell the riot in Nixia, and he does not feel any guilt at all. He clenched his fists as he said that there should not be too big a problem. Otherwise, if the riot continues to develop, the Nixia people will be able to destroy the Nixia country without the monster. And all this, blame Wangxi Empire themselves. After a while, Nixia issued a statement. "Dear Nixia compatriots, now I am announcing a news. Just now, Wangxi Empire once again rejected our request for assistance. From today on, our Nixia country no longer welcomes any Wangxian, and Wangxian will no longer enjoy any legal protection." The news quickly swept to every corner of Nixia like a hurricane. As for how to understand it, it depends on the people's understanding ability. At the time, Nixia country was in chaos, and Nixia people were committing atrocities everywhere. Anyway, Nixia country was really finished this time, and Nixia people became beasts without humanity. Countless people did things they wanted to do but didn't dare to do before. However, when the official announcement that Nixia country was about to be in name only sounded, countless people were stunned and regained their sanity. Then they turned from madness to Wanga. It turned out that Wangxi Empire did not help them. The damn Wangxian had been exploiting Nixia people in Nixia country to work for them. Now that Nixia country was in trouble and was about to perish, they did not help them. The damn Wangxian must pay the price. As a result, countless Nixa people successfully diverted their madness under despair and turned it into endless anger, targeting those Wangxinren in Nixa country. These Wangxinren were all rich, and their female relatives were once the objects of countless day and night fantasies. Now that Wangxinren was no longer protected by Nixa country, countless Nixa people's eyes turned red, and their anger and jealousy turned into serious inner deformities. They frantically searched for Master Wang in Nixa country. In their eyes, Master Wang was already erased like monsters. Every city was in chaos again, but there was a sign of order returning, because the Nixa people were unanimously targeting Master Wang. The Nixa people smashed the door frantically, often in groups, breaking into Master Wang's home, snatching anything good they saw, or turning into grinning beasts when they saw beautiful women. Some Nixa police simply turned a blind eye to the calls for help from women from Wangxin on the street. Even some men wearing military shoes joined the Nixa people in venting their anger. Chapter 175. Move all the Empire's warships over there. At night, the Nixa kingdom began to calm down gradually until late at night. The Nixa Emperor Tumu had no intention of repenting. If he did not use Wangxinren as a scapegoat, it was very likely that the Nixa kingdom would not be able to hold out until the rescue of the Jianmeng Empire. He waited. The foreign minister of the Nixa kingdom entered Tuomu's office with the statistical data in a solemn manner. How many Wangxinren died? Tuomu asked. As long as the death toll of Wangxinren is controlled within a certain range, some of the dead Wangxinren can be blamed on the monsters, and the other part can be blamed on the riots. At most, the Jianmeng Empire will mediate and compensate for the losses. Things seem to be a little bit big. The Minister of the Interior looked solemn. It's okay. If it's a little bit big, we can blame it all on the monsters. As long as we hold out until the support of the Jianmeng Empire, we can solve it. Tuomu smiled and said, maybe it can't be solved. Tuomu. The Minister of the Interior held up 5 fingers. Only 50? Add a 0, that's 500. Hearing what the other party said, Tuomu's legs immediately went weak with fear. So many Wangxinren died on the first day. Wouldn't it be doubled on the second and third days, and more and more? Why so many? Our army is also involved. Quick, issue a statement to stop everything. We can't let Wangxinren continue to be persecuted. Tuomu was terrified. The Minister of the Interior also realized the seriousness of the matter. Soon, the Nixa official issued another statement, requiring every Nixa person to stay away from Wangxinren. But because it was late at night, I didn't know what the effect would be. And Tuomu also hurriedly contacted Pussy. He explained the whole story. The riot in Nixa was cleverly resolved by using Wangxinren, but Wangxinren seemed to have died too much. So now it is urgently needed to be covered by the Jianmeng Empire, and by the way, ask if they can come to help in advance. Originally, Pussy didn't feel the seriousness of the matter. On the contrary, he quite agreed with Tuomu's approach. After all, if Wangxinren was not allowed to divert the madness of the people, Nixa might really be finished. It was just that he subconsciously thought that the number would be a dozen or a few Wangxinren, and he never thought that 500 Wangxinren would die in one day. Pussy repeatedly shouted, "Fuck, you idiot, big idiot, how could you do this? Just catch a few Wangxinren to pretend you were really in big trouble this time. So many Wangxinren died in one day, you can't hide it." Tuomu asked nervously, "So I hope that Jianmeng Empire can help us, and you can ask for any conditions." "You can't ask for anything, this matter has nothing to do with us, and we won't help you with Mechas." Pussy hung up the phone with an angry face. 500 Wangxinren. Just gone. It would be fine if they were all trampled to death by monsters. Although everyone was sad, they definitely didn't have any psychological burden, but in the end, they were all killed by the butcher knives of the Nixa people. After hanging up their call, Pussy analyzed. This matter is probably going to be a big deal. Others also agreed with Pussy's point of view. This kind of thing will be contagious, and more Nihon people will join the team that persecutes Wangxinren. Quick, order our military bases in Nixa and all consulates in the nearby area to capture all the Wangxinren and hand them over to the Wangxin Empire. ? Everyone. Oh, fuck, you bunch of idiots, if we actively rescue Wangxinren, then the international image of our Jianmeng Empire will be greatly improved, and if we are in trouble in the future, will the Wangxin Empire not come to repay the favor? I don't know whether they will repay the favor or not, but I know that this is not meddling in other people's business. Pussy was dissatisfied. I don't care, we must save him. Everyone. It was not only the Jianming Empire that issued an order to shelter Wang Xinren at the first time. Almost all countries received what happened in Nixie, so they all issued orders similar to the Jianming Empire. Try to let the consulate provide shelter to Wang Xinren in Nixie as much as possible. So overnight, the Wang Xing people in Nixie came out of their hiding places and went surprisingly smoothly when seeking shelter from various official organizations. It was so smooth that even they themselves were a little unbelievable. However, after entering the consuls of various countries and contacting the empire one by one, many people burst into tears. This is after experiencing the catastrophe, the strong home makes them feel safe. If the empire is not good, the consulates of various countries will not care about the life and death of Wang Xinren, but now that the empire is strong, all countries will take the initiative to protect everyone. A kind of excitement to have a powerful empire behind them and shed tears. And Wang Xin Empire. A press conference began. Xinglai spoke righteously at the press conference. First of all, thank the consulates of various countries for actively providing shelter for our overseas Wang Xinren. Secondly, on behalf of Wang Xi Empire, I seriously accuse NI the 11th of crimes against humanity. They are killing people. Reporters from various countries also felt deeply sympathetic. Dying in the riots of NI the 11th and dying in the targeting of NI the 11th are completely different in nature. A reporter asked, Mr. Zhen, what is your country's next plan? Are you going to ask NI the 11th to apologize? Xinglai said, I'm sorry, I can't answer this question yet, but Wang Xi Empire will definitely seek justice for any overseas compatriots. Hissed the reporters sucked in the air. What does this mean? Has the fuse of World War III begun to ignite? The next day, the official statement of Nixie country did not play any role. The situation was seriously out of control. Nixie country was in chaos now. Although order was restored, the monsters were still there. Countless people had nowhere to vent their inner depression, so it was like a contagion. More and more Nixie people were jealous. After a crazy search, they found that all the Wang Xinren had run to the consulates of various countries overnight. Damn. None of these evil foreigners were good. So they began to attack the consulates frantically. Countries around the world. Nixie country is really a shithole, and it is not afraid to be an enemy of the whole world. At this time, the words of Nixie Emperor Tongmu were no longer effective. He never thought that things would get out of control to such a situation. It only took one night from out of control to madness. But someone was already busy preparing to come and relieve his worries. The two aircraft carrier fleets of Bais and Kalin arrived at the Mecha base. Swoosh, 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 a Mecha flew out of the base and landed on the deck of the tugboat. A row of Marines holding heavy weapons also walked out of the transport's helicopter on the deck. All combat units were equipped with weapons of mass destruction. Since Nixie targeted Master Wang, the Empire would return the favor 100-fold. In the control room of the Bais aircraft carrier, the captains of the two fleets looked at Lin Chen, who had summoned them in the name of fighting monsters, with a worried look on their faces. Are we really going to act privately without informing the command? Captain Kalin asked worriedly. What do you mean by acting privately? We are going to fight monsters. Lin Chen's eyes were tired. It can be said that the victims were also closely related to him. Two captains. All weapons were replaced with weapons of mass destruction. Are they going to fight monsters or Nixie? They dared to guarantee that if there were no compatriots in Nixie, this young man who was extremely paranoid about the use of force would dare to tear up the agreement of the five empires and directly use nuclear weapons. This revenge must be avenged. You should have seen the crimes of the Nixie people in the reports, so let's go. Lin Chen took a deep breath. Nixie must be prepared to pay the price. Then in a very short time, the two captains planned the route, and the two aircraft carrier fleet went down from north to south. On the hull that was breaking through the wind and waves, the fists of every Wang Xin warrior were clenched deeply into the flesh, and the anger of revenge burned in their hearts. Not long after, the command officer of the Empire also discovered the abnormality of the Bais and Kalin aircraft carrier fleets. They immediately noticed the intentions of the two fleets. Where did the courage come from? There was no need to guess that it must be that young man again. Then they hurriedly made a video call with Jiangmen Jiwan. Just now, Lin Chen led out Bais and Kalin aircraft carrier fleets to the south, and according to investigations, all the Mechas in the base have gone to perform combat missions. Jiangmen Jiwan's expression did not change much, and he said calmly, "What's the use of you telling me this now? Merge all the warships of each legion into the 3rd Legion and transfer them all together." End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like, Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.